Welcome, everybody, to the SFL Season 25 Championship Kickoff Show. I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith. Ashley Jackson will join us later with some interviews. Mike O'Neill breaks down some film closer to kickoff. Cameron Irvine on production. He's patiently waiting in the broadcast booth with Charles Doherty. We all welcome you to the Season 25 Championship here in the Simulation Football League on the Virtual Football Network. Tonight, we preview the championship game. We're going to preview the upcoming season with some new divisions, a new playoff format, a new graphic package debuting tonight. And oh yeah, the 2026 SFL convention will also be revealed. Gerald, this is a big night for the SFL.
It's a very big night. A lot of news. You going for your third championship, Vancouver, trying to get revenge tonight.
They are.
And it's Black Friday, and rumor is apparently I'm half off today if anybody is looking to purchase a man, half of a man, or not even a man at all.
Top half or bottom half or
whatever half.
I don't even want to know what you're for sale for. That doesn't even make sense. But it wouldn't be our show if we said things that made sense. But here we are. We've got the championship game. It's for this right here. We've had it up for the last few weeks on loan from the SFL. I have not quite given it back yet to the commish. He keeps asking for it. You'll get it eventually. Today's not that day. But this is what it's all for. It's for the championship trophy. It's for these rings. This is what it all comes down to. Let's talk about those semifinal games and how we got to this point. The DC Dragons took on the Mexico City Aztecs. Mexico City would go right down the field on their opening possession and threw a pick in the end zone. DC would go 3 and out quickly on offense themselves, and Jared Dumas back-to-back weeks, Gerald, a punt return touchdown to get the scoring started. Mexico City would lead the entire game. They held DC to only 3 points in the first half, 7 in the second half, and they would go on to win it 27-10.
And that's what you guys just needed, right? You guys haven't been as crisp on offense, but defense, special teams picking it up.
Vancouver took on the Houston Headhunters, a game that we had the fortunate opportunity to call.
That was a good one.
That was a great game. Vancouver would start off the game on offense, or would they? Because the opening kickoff was fumbled. Houston scooped and scored it, but 17 unanswered points later until the final seconds in the second quarter, that would give Vancouver a 17-14 lead at the half. Houston reclaimed the lead a little bit before midway point of the third quarter and held on to it all the way down until 2 minutes to go in the game. Vancouver would get a go-ahead touchdown. They would win it 26-21.
And it was a good game. And that fumble early on set the tone for what the game was going to be.
Yeah.
All these lead changes back and forth, but Vancouver was able to finish it off and hold off Houston.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people with us in the chat. There's no way I'm going to be able to go through the whole thing. Skippy's in there, and I'm not going to read any of her. Skip. That's all I'm going to say. She knows. But we're looking pretty spiffy tonight. We had to class it up. It's the championship game.
I got my nice shiny tie working.
Yeah. You're very pretty.
Yeah, I try to be. You're handsome as well.
Well, thank you.
Look a lot better, more handsome without the rings, but it's.
What do you mean?
It's still nothing.
Anyway,
it's too much bling.
Yeah, let's let's talk about this game that we've got coming up, and then we're going to talk about a lot of what season 26 has to offer because we want you all to stick around and look forward to this next upcoming season. But here we are, 148 games have been played, Gerald, all to get back to the exact same point we were at this time last season. Vancouver and Mexico City in the championship game. For the Aztecs, their season started off back on July 11th. It was the season opener. It was at the 2025 SFL convention. They would lose that opener to Arizona 20-13. They rebounded quickly. They would win their next 4, and it would be by a combined score of 138-47, just absolutely destroying teams. 3 of those games were on the road, as they are again tonight. But then week 9 struck, and they would take on these Vancouver Legion. Mexico City got caught sleeping. There's no better way to say it. We got caught sleeping at the wheel. We suffered our first shutout in franchise history. Vancouver dominated 42-0. Kudos to Vancouver. The Aztecs would sneak in a couple wins over Carolina and Fort Worth before once again getting smacked around by Sin City, who served them a 34-3 loss. It was bad. Mexico City would go to win their next 5 straight by no less than 10 points or more, including a 17-point win over DC last week. How about Vancouver, though? They have had a much more steady season. They started off with a 24-point win over Baltimore in week 1. They would go on to win their first 4 before losing to Houston by 7 in week 7. Then they'd win 7 of their last 9 games, losing by only 3 points each in those 2 losses that they had. That would get them back to this championship game for the second consecutive season. I've got a sneaky suspicion that the Aztecs will not be caught slacking this time. And I think we're in for a great conclusion to the season. Go ahead and break these teams down for us.
Look, Mexico City in these playoffs, right? They've been pretty darn good, right? You know, hasn't been as good on offense as they could have been, even losing Jordan Sipe, right? So you did pretty good on offense, not as good as you could have been, right? The run game has been excellent, though, right? Behind Hall of Fame running back Ray Bentley, who averages over 5 yards per carry in these playoffs. That's the very good spot of the team. The team collectively averages 170 rush yards per game in these playoffs. Really, really good thing they're doing on offense, right? Stayed relatively mistake-free, only had 3 turnovers in the playoffs. Pass game has not been great this playoff set. So why, with them only getting 47, you guys are only completing 47% of
That's
the
all we
passes
needed,
thrown.
baby.
Sipe has 41. When Love came in relief, he only did 53%
That's why he's starting tonight.
in relief duty. Look, and when they have completed the passes, it's been to their stud wide receiver, Noe Terrazas and Bill Henry, who those two guys have accounted for over half of the total receptions on offense, right? So it's almost like, hey, look, if they're not open, not many people are really open, right? You need to get more production across the entire offense, you know, especially in the passing game, you know, because the last time you guys faced you guys only had 181 total yards of offense.
Yeah, it's bad.
And you turned the ball over 5 times.
I remember.
5 picks by Jordan Sipe.
Thanks for the reminder.
Since then, you guys have been a different team. Outside of that weird Sin City loss, you guys have been pretty good, right? But Vancouver is a formidable defensive team. And in these playoffs, you guys have only had just a few touchdowns in the playoffs and needed special teams to get you touchdowns as well. So the offense isn't scoring a ton of touchdowns and a ton of points. I mean, you know, the offense, but we're going to see what's going to happen tonight because you guys are going to have to bring it.
Looking forward to seeing what the offense can do. I think we'll do a lot better than we did last time, but the defense has really helped us out a great deal. Talk about them.
And you guys are in championship form in these playoffs. This is the reason why. And I'm not going to lie, outside of the offense, playing mistake-free, this is the reason why you guys are at it for the 3rd straight time. With the offense being mild-ish, right? With the mild-ish struggles they had, you guys have been able to produce on defense at a really, really high level. You guys have forced 5 turnovers, along with only averaging 255 yards to the opposing offense in the playoffs and only surrendering 10 points in each of the games played. The 2nd and 3rd level defenders are playing, in my mind, out of their mind right now. Fowler, Yolia at the linebacker position playing extremely good, and the DBs with Itera, Dags, and Jackson playing really, really good on the back end, which is preventing all the points being scored. You guys are doing what you need to do. The run defense, really, really good. You guys did not allow a 100-yard rusher in either of the playoff games you have played. Ramos Lynn, the defensive scheme he has put together in the playoffs, has gotten defenders in the positions they need to be successful. Cannot have a repeat performance on defense that you had early in the season against Vancouver. You can look like Swiss cheese. You gave up nearly 450 yards of offense. I think you guys have to come out, especially on defense, punch Vancouver in the mouth early to set the tone. And guess what? The key for these players, the key players for me is going to be Sipe. You got to stay mistake-free and make plays to get this win. You have to. And get Noe Terrazas and everybody else who you're throwing the ball to, get them open quick to combat the Vancouver pass rush. They've been really, really good in these playoffs. Bentley and crew, create plays and create the plays and get enough yards to make that 3rd and manageable, right? That way you're not getting a ton of yards you need to get to right at the back. The entire defense needs to stay disciplined, play aggressive, because Vancouver can strike anywhere with anyone at any time. And you need to get pressure on the quarterback to disrupt the timing that they have on those pass runs have you seen Vancouver have. So that's what those guys got to do to be able to get themselves in a situation to win. Yeah,
well, I couldn't have said it any better. Ramos not on vacation in Argentina this time. He was earlier in the season. Not saying that was the reason we lost, but when you leave me wildly in charge of the defense and I don't know what I'm doing, we allow 400 yards. What can I say? But talk about Vancouver. I mean, all props to them. They've gotten it done. They beat us in week 9 fair and square. No excuses. They got us 42-0.
Right, and they've been playing out of their minds all
Yeah.
season. It's carried them into the playoffs, right? The offense, has averaged 387 yards of total offense in these playoffs, and it's led by this power run game from their backfield. Fullbacks, too. J.W. Doyle, Jalen Wells, along with running back Devin Lloyd, putting it all together, who collectively have averaged 227 yards per game in these playoffs. Not to mention the extremely efficient passing from quarterback Christian Brown, 71% completion on his passes, which leads it leads all teams in the playoffs. He has 4 touchdowns, which is also number 1, and he's number 1 in QBR. Has a 125.9 QBR, really efficient. Who's he throwing to? Wide receiver Brett Killian, Hall of Famer, Ezekiel Bear. He's got, Nick Lockett. John Michael Sutters have been outstanding at route running and getting open for Brown.
Yep.
The timing and the connection they have been amazing. Only 2 turnovers in the playoffs, which is really good. They only threw 1 interception, and they lost a fumble. The offense has so many weapons that they can use with a ball control type offense. This is a crazy stat when I looked it up. They held on to the ball offensively for 52 minutes the last 2 games. That's 26 minutes per game.
Yep.
To their opponent's 28. They're only allowing their opponents to hold the ball for 14 minutes. That's 24 minutes holding the ball than their opponents have it. They're able to keep their opponents on the sidelines and limit their possessions. And when your offense is not on the field, you can't score points, right? If the opposing offense is on the field, like you said, tough to score points. I think this is the best ball control offense I have seen in a very, very long time. In the playoffs, they have 8 offensive touchdowns. Extremely dangerous offense.
And it's an extremely dangerous defense, too. Every bit as good as the offense. Talk about them.
Look, and they're even – I talked about how good Mexico City was.
Yep.
And they possibly could be better than Mexico City has been in these playoffs. The defense only allowed minimal yardage to the opponents in play, only giving up 204 yards to their opponent. Also, only allowing 39% conversions on 3rd down. With a number like that, you may think that they are taking the ball away at an extremely high rate. But nope, they're not. They only have 1 takeaway in these playoffs. But guess what they do? They pressure the quarterback extremely well, right? They're getting 3.5 sacks per game in these playoffs. And they also have only allowed a total of 76 rush yards to their opponent.
Wow.
43 yards a game that they're allowing these playoffs. Have played excellent on all 3 levels, from sacks, TFLs, and from the linebackers playing on the back end and the DBs getting the pass defense and everything else. Just collectively, they have done it all, right? So they've been very good at getting the opposing offense off the field extremely quick. A lot of 3 and outs. That's what they're doing. Look, and for them to continue on and maybe win this thing for the first time for them, the power run game with all the ball carriers, establish the pace of the game that they want to do and control that clock, because they've done it. The passing game, keep the timing down and keep the defense off balance. A lot of things that they do is a lot of these time routes. If it gets disrupted, who knows what's going to happen? And the defense, I think, even though Sipe was a former MVP, you have to force Jordan Sipe to beat you, because he has been near the bottom in most passing categories this season. If they want to win, they have to get Jordan Sipe in a position that he has to beat them.
It's going to be 2 heavyweights taking to the field tonight. So excited for it. Can't wait to get this one started. About 45 minutes away from kickoff. And then we will see how these 2 teams close out season 25. But first, we're going to talk about, first off, a $5 super chat. Looks like Deli in the chat, $5 super chat. Little something for the 2 studs. Yes, sir. On the pregame show. See, you would have been $10, but it's half off. So it's $5 super chat. And thanks, SFL, for another great season. All right, let's talk about, thank you very much for that super chat. Let's talk about some of what's upcoming for us. First off, we've got some rebranded teams, some relocations, some other things that have happened. Let's see the first one, and it's going to be the Anchorage Wolves. The Queen City Corsairs ownership group was purchased by Ryan Davis. He's now the 100% owner of the team. Minority owner to be announced at a later date. Ryan is taking on coaching as well. He's going to bring in another coach to help him out. That'll also be announced at a later date. But the Queen City Corsairs were purchased and relocated to Anchorage. Why? Ryan says he was always fascinated by a pack mentality and the way that Wolves operate, and he thinks that a football team has a very similar dynamic, especially with him wanting to revamp the culture and make it more like a family. So he chose Alaska because when he thinks of Wolves, he thinks of Alaska. So that's why they are up in Anchorage as the Wolves. And Ryan's pumped to have a lot of players returning and a solid amount of new exciting players he can't wait to announce. So Anchorage really ready to take on the league next season.
Moving cross country.
Can't get much farther from Buffalo.
From Western New York, you go all the way from Buffalo, all the way to Anchorage, Alaska. Look, hey, well deserved, right? As a guy that's been hungry to get a team for a little while, got his shot.
Sure did.
And we're gonna see what a new. I mean, because we know Queen City's been on the cusp of doing some things.
Yep.
New leadership. See how far they can take it.
The Denver Night Wings fold at the end of season 25, and an expansion team is going to be headed up by the new owners, Michael Goodman and Jimmy Hatzis. It is the Birmingham Hellhounds. They were the coaches for Denver, and they take off on their own franchise now. And offensive coaching will be done by Michael and defensive coaching done by Jimmy. Why are they going to Birmingham? Because Alabama is a great state with no professional team, and it's time to give the Brummies what they deserved, a professional team that embodies the spirit of Birmingham: strength, determination, pride, and above all, loyalty. Those are the words from Jimmy Hatzis. So, a couple of unknown guys from what they call the bad side of town, another league, and they came over here with dreams of getting the franchise of their own. They thought maybe it would be Denver, but no, they're going to go off on their own and start the Birmingham Hellhounds. And wanted to give a couple of shout-outs to Jeremy for taking on a couple of unknown guys, and the Nightwing players for taking a chance on them as coaches and staying with us throughout the journey. And can't forget, this is his words again, not mine. He wants to thank Gerald for always believing him no matter what the odds. And fun fact, Hatzis will still have the best hair in the league.
That is a fact. He will say, look, I can't just fall in love with this more, right?
Yeah,
Two guys that came in there, did all the grunt work, right? And we know that Denver at the time was reeling and needed the spark. They came in, they gave them that spark, and they turned them back into a contender. So good for them. And I like the fact that, hey, look, Denver is folding, and they're creating, and they have their whole new expansion team. Start fresh, none of that history, do it yourself. Love the logo. Love that it's in the South as well, doing their stuff. Guys, you're going to do good.
All right. And last but not least, the Charleston Predators have also folded, but Jacob and some new partners have purchased the old Nashville Tempo franchise, and they are rebranding it. They're moving it down south, Gerald. They're heading to Miami. Introducing to you the Miami Stingrays. It's going to be owned by Jacob Clear, partnering up with Sam Blotner and Anthony Ellison, moving into ownership. The front office will be Zach Benjamin at head coach, and Goose Busters is the GM of this new Miami Stingrays franchise. Miami, very close in proximity to Anthony Ellison, and they wanted to stay on the East Coast, which was very important to Jacob. He wanted to be on the coast to have that aquatic theme, so he could pick the stingray. And why the stingray? It's one of Jacob's favorite animals. One of his favorite memories growing up was going to Bendalong in Australia and swimming with the stingrays. And fun fact, Gerald, I have kissed a stingray.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of that. But look, I tell you, I have to. Look, I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's a pretty curious name, logo.
Yep.
But now looking at it even more and understanding what Miami is and all the neon lights and all this other stuff that all Miami brings from back, if you know the 80s and everything else, what they did in the 90s, that's what they did. That's what they look. I like how they're capturing that whole look and feel. And it's going to be interesting to see. I want to know what stadium they do, what they're going to do in the stadium, what the uniforms are going to look like. I'm interested.
Great kissers, too. That was weird. Why did I have to go and say that?
I don't know.
Sin City Samurai have also folded at the end of the season. That brings us to 21 teams going into next season, which gives us the opportunity to redivision some things. Let's look at the new divisional structure for the SFL here in season 26. We've got 3 divisions. We've got the West, the South, and the East. Gerald, the greatest division in football, the South Division, is growing, bringing in some new teams. Love to see it, but let's break down all of them. We've got Albuquerque, Anchorage, Arizona, Los Angeles, Oklahoma City, Vancouver, and Washington out in the West. The South now is going to be made up of Birmingham, Bossier City, Florida, Fort Worth, Houston, Mexico City, go Aztecs, and Miami. So we get to bring in the Stingrays into the South. Love that. The East will now be Carolina, Chicago, DC, Detroit, Lexington, Minnesota, and Pittsburgh. What do you think of the new divisions?
Well, I actually like new division because the South is like the true South. It's
there you go.
Everybody, we top of Louisiana on further down doing it. I love it out west. Look, and this is going to be a really competitive division, too. What they're going to be doing in the South, I think it's going to be the toughest division that is still out there. But, look, even out here, Vancouver's going to have a whole lot of tests for them. They got Washington again, look, and then you're throwing, like Albuquerque now. They got to, contend with Albuquerque. Had down season, but Arizona get to bring it, too. The East, a little bit weaker than the others, right? But guess what? Pittsburgh, really good season. Minnesota has been pretty good up until this recent season. And D.C. made it semifinals. So, look, a whole lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, all three divisions pretty evenly divided up geographically and by the way the teams have performed as of late. The South still just looks
dangerous,
just menacing.
I'm glad I left. I'm so glad I left.
Yeah, you would have been right down there with there.
Yeah, I'm so glad I left.
All right, well, with 3 divisions and 21 teams means you're going to have to change up the way the playoffs are going to work, because you can't have it just be the same way that it always was. So without further ado, the season 26 playoff schedule structure, we'll take a look at that. So how it's going to work: the top 10 teams will make the playoffs, down from 12. So you're only going to get the top 10 in there. The top 2 from each division will receive first round bye. The 4 next best records will secure wildcard spots. Division winners are guaranteed a top 4 seed, a first-round home playoff game, and the teams will play each division opponent once, so that'll be 6 of their games, and will play 6 out-of-division games to fill out the schedule. So they'll get some from, like the Aztecs. We'll play all the teams there in our division, and then we'll get 3 from the West, 3 from the East.
Look. I like it. You don't know why? I felt like, right, with the reduction team we had too many teams making the playoffs.
Yep.
I do think, look, you have to have less than half make it. And guess what it is? It's just less than half that makes it so exclusive. You have to be the cream of the crop to get where you're going. This does it right here. And I love the way everything is laid out with the division winners, right? Like guaranteed a top 4 seed.
Yes.
You can't fall any further than that, right? Plus, if you win a division, you got to run the gauntlet of your own teams in your division anyway.
Sure do.
You will have the necessary wins to be a legit top seed right there. And the fact that, the way the schedule is going to fill out, your 6 remaining games, right, are going to be against multiple different teams. I'm hoping Cameron Irvine isn't going to do like, all right, hey, you play that division. It's going to be based off of strength of schedule. I'm assuming how you finished the time before. I love it. This is the way it was kind of in the past a little bit. I love it. I'm glad we're getting back to this stuff right here, because if you are good, you should run the gauntlet of crazy good teams.
Exactly.
Mike, that means you ain't winning it next year. So here we go.
Now.
I love it right
well,
here.
You do see the hypothetical layout here. There's one team noticeably missing from the top 12.
It's not noticeably missing. It's on purpose.
Well, yeah, go Aztecs. We'll see where we end up next season for real. But that's a hypothetical structure. So yeah, the top 6 all get first round buys. Wild card will be a little bit more exclusive, like you say, and takes a little bit more to get into it. So that is what we've got going on in season 26. But how about 2026 as a year? We've got the convention details, Gerald. We've been teasing them for weeks. We haven't been torturing people, though, like we did last season when we announced it. We kept saying we were going to throughout the show, and they didn't. We are announcing it right now. The 2026 SFL convention is going to be in Denver, Colorado. When? It's going to be July 30th through August 2nd. So we got the end of July. It's going to be a couple weeks into the season this time around. Gerald, we learned some things, me in particular, after negotiating everything for Baltimore, and I heard people's feedback, and I wanted to make this the best convention ever, and boy, oh boy, is it going to be. First off, the rooms last year, $170 a night. How about $119 a night? One complaint that I also heard, parking. Parking was ridiculous at the hotel that we were at. Now, parking's free. It's not actually free at the hotel, but I negotiated that for our crew because we needed to get free parking. So we will be at the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel in Denver. You can see the address there. It's in the Crystal Ballroom. It's a 3,000 square foot room, all kinds of space to spread out. On Thursday, there's going to be an owners summit. So owners plan on coming in on Wednesday night. You're going to want to be there Thursday morning for the owners summit. More details to come about that. On Friday, we'll have Hall of Fame inductions. That's right. Definitely going to have Hall of Fame this time around. We'll have games on Friday. We'll have games on Saturday, games on Sunday. It's going to be all sorts of great stuff going on throughout the convention, including the fact one of the big complaints that we had in Baltimore was we got kicked out of our event space quite a bit. By like 9 o'clock at night, we had to go find somewhere else to go, and we had to hang out in the lobby. And then there was these obnoxious children No obnoxious children this time, Gerald. We negotiated 24-hour access to the room. Once we get in there on Thursday, we do not have to leave until Sunday night. We've got that room exclusively all night long. So if you're a party animal, you want to stay up late and, maybe set up an Xbox or something on our projector and
Bring a cot.
do some, you can bring a cot and just take a nap in there, I guess, if you're like Gerald, but we'll do some tournaments on the big screen. There's going to be all kinds of stuff because we will be in that space all night, all day. We've got it the whole time. It's minutes away from numerous restaurants. You got Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden, Texas de Brazil. Love me some Texas de Brazil. So we're thinking we might have to plan an event there. Some fast food options, In-N-Out Burger, Smash Burger. There's Mexican, there's Indian, there's barbecue all over the place. It's 10 minutes away from Coors Field. Baseball stadium, I'm allegedly told. I'm more of a football guy. And 15 minutes away from Empower Field. It's about 20 minutes from the airport. So there's an on-site restaurant as well. They've got a bar. You can buy drinks there, bring them into the convention site. We've tried to think of everything. Shout out to Mike O'Neill for finding this hotel and making the initial contact. And then we were able to, negotiate the rest of the details. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I also found out from a one fullback of mine, Buford Van Dam. He lives an hour from Denver. And he told me earlier today, he goes, hey, if you ever have a convention in Denver, count me in. Well, Buford, welcome to the 2026 SFL convention. I'm looking forward to meeting you there.
Yeah, he's in. Look, and this and I'm sure this is a great place. I've only flew into Denver for work-related reasons, right? Before Cameron Irvine hired me away for free. So look, it's a decent city. Passing through it, everything looks good. It's heard a lot of good stuff about Denver. And I like the fact that, hey, look, the owner is getting back, to have some sort of a meeting, get some something. Hall of Fame, missed it last convention. We need that. I'm glad it's coming back. Lots of SFL games happening and everything else, and then being able to be in the event space, right? So everybody who comes together can actually enjoy each other instead of cramming into a room or in a very uncomfortable space. So it's good. You guys did all that work to get this stuff done. It's going to be fun for everybody.
And like I said, the space is over 3,000 square feet. So even if you don't want to be right up on top of everybody watching games or part of whatever activity is going on, you can go take up a spot in another corner of the room. There's all kinds of space to spread out. And the Owner Summit, listen, owners have asked for a long time to have a voice in the league. They wanted to get back to having owners meetings and being able to make some input on the direction of the league. That's what the Owner Summit's all about. If you want to be able to have a voice in the league as an owner, go to the convention, because on Thursday I've got a whole separate room reserved just for the owners, and we will be able to go in there, hash out some details about the league, and if you're there, you'll get input on the league going forward. So really looking forward to it. Another thing that we negotiated into it as well, if you're like my bride Kelly and you want to go and make a whole week-long vacation out of this, those dates that we have negotiated, you can book up to 3 days before or 3 days after and still get that same SFL rate of $119 per night. So you can end up booking, I want to say it's from Monday night all the way through Wednesday of the next week if you want to make a whole week out of it. So yeah, looking forward to it. You can go online at Hilton.com or on the Hilton app. Just use the group code SFL. Nice and easy. That'll get you those rates, and I'm sure we'll put a link on the SFL website as well.
Yeah. Fun times, and it's going to be interesting. I'm more interested to know, look, I might have to be a fly on the wall at the Owner Summit because I don't own anything, but I'm just a nosy-ass dude, so I got to listen. But the Hall of Fame, I'm really interested in that. I'm really, really interested in the Hall of Fame stuff. There's a lot of good deserving candidates that deserve to get in. I was disappointed, right, that we didn't have that last year, but got it this year. Glad it's back. That way those guys can get recognized for all the on-field accomplishments that they do.
I see Fullerton in the chat say, where's my flag football people at? There's a park right down the street, 15-minute walk or 3-minute drive, and we'll be able to play flag football there. There's also basketball courts, so we'll be able to do the basketball tournament again. And
I'm doing none. I got run over by Cameron Irvine one time, and I'm never getting in front of anything.
You do have to stay at the convention this year. There was a lot of people all last convention asking me, where'd Gerald go? Went to go buy crabs.
Yeah,
there's no crabs in Denver. There's nothing to buy in Denver. Just stay at the convention.
Well, damn. All right, we'll see.
So that's the 2026 SFL convention. Book now. There's no cancellation fees up until the day before your reservation. We have to have everybody booked by the end of June of 2026, so don't wait. Go ahead and jump right on it. All right, what else do we've got coming up next season? And debuting tonight, we've got the widescreen patch finally officially happening. It's going to look like this, Gerald. You get to see everybody. It's kind of like the all-22 cam that you've seen before. We'll see everybody on the field. This will make scouting easier. It makes gameplay more dynamic. It makes the player models look better. And this makes it look a little bit more like the old era of the SFL, more so than ever before. What do you think of the revised look?
I like it, right? So whenever we made a change, everything was kind of up close and in my face. I didn't know how I was gonna take it at first. I was like, I don't know how I like this, right? But as it went on, everything started looking a little bit better. I'm like, hey, this is good. This is good. Now you pan it back out, you can see a lot more of the field, a lot more what's going on. All 22 players on the field. It's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be good for scouting. Good for scouting for everybody who wants to go in there and do it and scout it and see where people are moving right at the snap. It's really good for scouting. So it's going to be good stuff for coaches and for fans, just like myself. I am now a fan and a talking head, right? I like and as a play-by-play guy, analyst, you see a lot of stuff. It's going to be good stuff.
Can't wait for that, and we'll see that at tonight's game, kicking off in about a half-hour time. Coming up, we've got Mike O'Neill, who breaks down film study for both of these squads. But first, we'll kick it over to Ashley Jackson. She met up with Ramos and I from the Aztecs, along with Andy Hamilton and Ezekiel Baylor from the Legion. Ashley, take it away.
Welcome back to PGI, where I am joined here tonight with two fantastic franchises in the SFL that made it to the championship game for season 25, Mexico City Aztecs and the Vancouver Legion. I have here representing tonight Mr. Mike Daggs and Joey Lynn from Mexico City. How you doing, fellas?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Doing great, man. Glad to be a part of this, even though I'm not a part of it. I'm still a part of it. Then I want to welcome Vancouver Legion's Ezekiel Bear, as well as Andy Hamilton. How are you gentlemen doing this evening?
Doing pretty good, thank you.
Good, Ashley. Thanks for having us.
Glad you can make it, gentlemen. So this is a rematch from last season. Now, this is not what I expected, but I'm curious to know from both of the ownership groups. Championship rematch for season 24. Vancouver loses to Mexico City 31-19 last time you guys met. During the regular season, though, things were kind of turned around where Vancouver was winning more than Mexico City. So how do you balance the legacy of being longtime SFL veteran owners and coaches with the pressure of winning the championship? Like, do you feel more motivated during this time, or do you feel the weight of expectations on your shoulders? Because both of you have been here before. Andy, I'll start with you first with this.
Yeah, I think, it's a great question. I think for us, we're excited to be back. We had a lot of roster turnover. We had, I think it was 10 players leave our roster from last season's team, and we had to replace around 6 of them in different positions. It is a rematch in a lot of ways. It's the two logos facing off against each other. It's the same ownership groups, but it's a very different team that we're walking into the championship with. And so, as a team owner, oftentimes you're rebuilding the team, right? Very rarely do you get to do what Mexico City did, where you return, all but 2 players and have to adjust that. So a lot of it is building and preparing for the regular season games, and then hoping that you can shake out and have an opportunity to play in a game like this. So we're very excited to be back in the championship game, and we're looking forward to kind of correcting the things last season that we felt like maybe we missed out on by being a part of that opportunity. But you don't take the weight of the game any differently from any other game, right? We still kick off. It's still 0-0 when you get started. It's still the same players as you had. So we were, I think, a little surprised with the regular season result against these guys. And we're not going to take it lightly that we have to face them again.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Joey, your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously Vancouver is one heck of an organization. As Andy was saying, almost half the team either tested free agency or retired, and they brought in new guys that have fit the team like a glove. They lost in some really, really important players, guys who made plays last season. We all know the names, from Provato to, they basically have a new backfield. And they did not skip a beat. They can run the football extremely well. They use all their weapons, and they're a tough out. For us, it's a new season. Every week is a different week for us, right? And every week we're trying to go 1-0, regardless of the week, regardless of the opponent, regardless of the game. Whether it's a week 9 game or it's a playoff game. Basically, the game planning is game planning against one team. Just look one week at a time, one game at a time, and just prepare to the best of our abilities. We've been here before, so has Vancouver, of course, and we've lost championships. Well, we lost one back in season 5. We won some, so we know what is to be on both sides of the spectrum, and hopefully we can game plan well to give Vancouver a better game than we gave them during the regular season.
Mike, same sentiments?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, we want to score more than 0 this time. That week 9 game did not exactly go according to plan. I will say that Joey was on vacation in Argentina, so our lack of defensive coordinator that week really really showed right through. But yeah, I mean, game planning for this one is it's no different than the others. Of course, you want to win, but I think we are in a unique situation now, and I think Andy can even attest to this from last season, because I talked to Andy about it. Obviously, I want to win for the Aztecs, but I would have been almost as happy for Vancouver if they had won the championship last time. And here we are again. Whoever wins this, it's going to be Mexico City or Vancouver. It's going to be Andy and Ezekiel and his squad, or Joey and I and our squad. Either way, we all come out on top. I mean, it's two great franchises, and happy for both of us to be back here again. It's great.
Ezekiel, what is it like to be back in the championship back-to-back?
I think it's awesome. It's kind of surreal. It for me, being my second season in, it's kind of like this is just the normal. And I know that's not going to be the case every season, but honestly, I'm just looking at like any other game. Like, go out there, let's win. Doesn't matter what happened the week before. Doesn't matter what happened last time we played Mexico City. It's just this time it's for a ring.
Questions for Mexico City. The Aztecs are now one of the few franchises with 3 titles. Back-to-back championships are rare. So how do you keep the team and yourselves motivated after winning it all? And what messages are you telling yourselves and your players to prevent complacency or being overconfident?
Well, I think, I know the team is really excited about the opportunity to three-peat. They were talking about it as soon as they won the season 24 championship. That was the message that they were sending through the locker room, is all right, let's three-peat now. So the pressure never let off of Joey and I. They immediately wanted to go and, get right back into it. Plus we brought in, Miranda Dumas, the significant other of Jared Dumas, who much like Ezekiel knows nothing other than just making championship games. So, we got to temper expectations with him there, but Miranda made it very clear that now Jared has a ring and she needs one too. So, we've been fighting for both of those things, trying to get that three-peat, and we got to get Miranda her ring, or we're never going to hear the end of it.
Joey, anything to add?
Well, as you will know, as everybody will know, winning never gets old, right? So, how you stay motivated is just by winning itself. Once you have some success, we spoke obviously last season, and the season before, I'm pretty sure, and we had 2 very, very tough seasons in which we won 9 games in a span of 2 full seasons, right? And we don't like to be in that side of the standings. At the end of the day, we work hard to get the wins, and that's what keeps, that's one of the things that keeps us motivated, because it's winning for the guys in the locker room, guys who've been here with us ever since the All-Pro era, ever since, before we had all this broadcast team and we had all this fancy stuff and you guys. We've had Ray Bentley and we had KL Barrett, guys who are still with us today, and they've stayed with us for almost a full decade now. And it's, it's for those guys. So, it's for those guys, and it's for the younger players too, Miranda Dumas and Jared and, everybody else in that locker room, Jeffrey, Max, everybody who came in, who believed in us. They could have chosen any other place in the SFL to go. When Vegas disbanded, Jacob Morrison and John Osiris, and they could have chosen any other place. And the place that they chose was a 6-6 football team that was, as the record will say, just average. And then, we've done what we've done. So, I do it for those guys.
Yeah, they deserve it. And Andy, you went from missing the playoffs in season 23 to reaching your first ever championship in season 24. And now you're back, returning for season 25. What changes? We talked about roster changes, of course, but were there any coaching changes or culture changes that attributed to the dramatic turnaround for you guys?
Good question. We as a staff, we've added Mark Lopez and Brett Killian to our ownership group. Similar to kind of Ramos's core group of players there. They were really kind of our core group of players. I, as the years grew on, had taken on more of the burden as an owner. Right, like Ramos said, we've grown so much as a league. There's so many pieces of owning a team now, right? It's no longer you pick 9 guys and they're bronze, silver, or gold, and you put them on the field and you play, right? It's a lot of, progression and building out, who you scout and who you kind of put on your team and how you build those individual players and help them build themselves. And so, there was a lot of time during season 23 and the couple years prior where I wasn't able to do that on my own. I don't have the brain power to start. I'm not that smart, and I'm not good at math. So, once we really moved into the progression side of things, I knew I needed help. And Mark Lopez and Brett Killian have just been such a breath of assistance and, really have kind of grown into, the position where, like, if you put them on their own team, like, they're going to be competing for championships in their own realm. And we're very grateful and lucky to kind of have them in our room and continue to kind of help build our team up. So I'll never discount kind of the effort and assistance that they've put forth and into our franchise. And they're truly the reason why we're competing for these things, right? I said it in our locker room when we clinched, the 1 seed was, hey, everyone should thank Mark for helping us get here. And I'm going to hitch my wagon to the back of his train. And however far he takes us is great. And so, I have a lot of years of coaching to go on top of that, right? So there's sometimes he'll go out in left field and I try and pull him back into kind of the center. But, as we've kind of worked together over the last couple of years here, we start to be on the same page. And I think you see that when our team hits the field.
So as someone on the team during this milestone season for the Legion, how does it feel to be a part of building a legacy? And what are some personal goals of yours for this upcoming game?
Oh my, how does it feel to be part of building a legacy? I don't know. Like that never was a thought that crossed my mind. I just take it day by day, step by step, and game by game with the Legion. I guess, we won our division. We clinched the first seed. We're back in the championship game. So I guess you could make that point that maybe we are building a legacy, but the first thing is we got to win the championship game. And I know the ownership, front office is all busting their butt for that. They want it just as bad as the players. So hopefully we can, right our wrong from last season. Personal goals for me, it always boils down to winning. Like, I've told Mark several times, like, it doesn't matter if I have 10 catches and 100 yards or 1 catch for 8 yards, touchdowns or no touchdowns, kick returns, punt returns or no punt returns and kick returns. I want to see the team win. That's the first and foremost. Everything after that is just icing on the cake for me.
So, Mike Ramos, what do you think separates the Aztecs from other top teams in the SFL, especially now that you've proven that you can win when expectations are high?
Well, Andy actually touched on one of those things. It's the roster consistency that we've had. We've been very fortunate to have a group of people that have wanted to return season after season. We've, after that 3-9 season that we had, that we don't speak of, but we'll speak of it now, I guess. But after that 3-9 season, we had a lot of turnover. A lot of people left, and like Joey said, we had a lot of people from Las Vegas come over, trusting that 3-9 team to do something good. And, we went 6-6, and then the next season made the championship, and, winning cures all ills. So, it has certainly helped, that we're, we've shown that we can consistently win and keep having success. And that brings, those players back to the team season after season. And, with as many moving parts as there are in the league now, to not have to constantly worry about where we're going to find people to fill various positions. And, we know and can rely on, most of these people coming back for next season, season after season. That's one thing that really helps us out. And it has certainly helped contribute to the success that we've had, knowing that we don't kudos to Vancouver for having the turnover that you had that last season and be right back here, right where you left off, in the number 1 seed. I mean, that's impressive. To me, that's more impressive than the fact that Mexico City's back. Mexico City's back because we pretty much have the roster we had before, plus extra help on the defensive side with Miranda Dumas. Vancouver took a roster, made it to the championship, lost a bunch of it, replaced it, and made it right back to the championship. So to me, that shines even brighter than what we've been able to do.
No, I agree. What they did is remarkable. I can imagine. What if we lost Buford Van Dam and Jacob Morrison, and in addition to that, we lost Jason Bartley. In addition to that, we lose a couple of our defense players. All of that, and then we're still back in the championship game after just to be the 1 seed is absolutely remarkable. But I'll just piggyback of what Mike said of our team is the fact that we have a very committed group of guys who do their progressions every week, who stay together, who believe and have believed from the very start in the process, right? Through the tough times, they've never wavered. Their commitment has never wavered, and that has been compensated with the fact that they are very good players. And when you have players like that, that makes it easier for us and for me especially to coach, right? There's not a whole lot of ways in which you can mess up Max Jackson, type deal. He's just Max Jackson, Jeffrey Daggs. They're just Hall of Fame players. So, they and I mean by they, I mean the team. They've done a great job throughout the years and staying together, and that hard work has paid off.
One more question for you guys. So Andy, was there a specific turning point or turning point game, I should say, or a moment this season that made you believe that you guys were going to go all the way?
Shoot. No, I still don't believe we're going to go all the way. It's, I think this kind of hit me last year after we did this interview. I think what I was doing was I was watching our sims, and I would get to the point, the day that we were submitting the playbook, and every sim that we would win, I would go, that's a trophy, that's a trophy, that's a trophy, that's not, right? And it's just different when you're in a game like this, and you think of it a little bit differently when you're running through the sims than you do a regular season game, right? You run through, that's a win, that's a win, that's a loss. That one needs this, that one needs that. But when you're playing for something like a trophy, it just has a different feel. And I think, it didn't hit me then last year that we were in that game until that moment. And I think similarly, I haven't really got to that point yet. But I think, not to harp on it too much, but the week 9 game where we kind of came out and I thought we would kind of have a dogfight with Mexico City, and, to sit there and score 40 on them, which is not something you can easily do in
42.
this league.
Just throwing that out there. It was 42.
Sorry.
I counted every one of those points. We got 0. It's easy to count our points.
Yeah.
And so once we kind of made it over 40 against them, and our defense played so well, I just really thought to myself that we played a really good game and we were a really solid team, or Ramos had to be on vacation, one of the two. So it sounds like both. And I'm sorry if I'm distracted. I'm on Expedia trying to figure out how quickly I can send him tickets to Argentina for the rest of the week.
I mean, to be fair, it was a dogfight. It was like a pit bull against a chihuahua or something. That's what it was back in week 9. It was not pretty. It was not pretty, for sure.
Well, you guys made it to the big show now. Now you're here. Now we want to get our money's worth. We want to be able to see what you guys put together, because right now it is a chess match. So last question for both sides. What do you think that you have to do, whether it's offensively or defensively, without giving too much away? What do you think you have to do to beat your opponent? So I'm going to start with you first, Mike and Joey. What do you guys have to do to beat Vancouver?
Well, certainly score more than 0, and
I would hope
preferably
so,
hold them
yeah.
to 0. So I'd love to return the favor. Neither team is going to score 0 this time. I mean, that much I know. But Vancouver's a great team, and one of the things I've respected about the way that they play each game is you don't see the same thing week after week after week. They change it up a lot. They have playbooks they throw out there that are very run heavy. They have playbooks that they throw out there that are very pass heavy. Some that are a nice blend of the two. It certainly makes it difficult to game plan for them, which is why I'm really glad we have a defensive coordinator on staff this week. So that should come into play and help. But you got to respect their defense too. I mean, if you watched the last game they played, the pressure they put on the quarterback, absolutely just gave John Lakeman fits, back there. And I feel sorry for Jordan Sipe this week. He's probably going to get hit a couple times. He's the least sacked quarterback in the league this season, but we'll try our best to make sure that happens in this next game. But we got to keep Jordan Sipe clean. He's got to not make mistakes. The mistakes usually get made when he's under pressure, and I know Vancouver can bring the pressure, but we do have quite a stable of weapons on offense. And I know we are going to be able to score some points this time. You got to self-scout too. You got to look back at your own games and really determine what has worked well, what hasn't worked well, and make the adjustments that you need to make. So, we learned a lot from that week 9 game. It's not like that was all for nothing. We were able to look at it and see what went wrong and figure out how to be better for it. And it worked pretty well the rest of the way.
Yep. So that's offensively. Defensively, we need to, it's kind of the cliche talk, especially for a playoff or championship game. But we need to get turnovers if possible, and then make the key stops on third downs inside the red zone. Basically, is what was one of the things that really helped us in the last championship game back in season 24. Is the fact that they had a lot of passing yards and they were moving the ball, but we were also able to get a few turnovers, and then the offense was able to capitalize with some points and get the stops to force some field goals. They try to go for a 2-point conversion. We were able to stop that. So it's those situational things in football that really make the difference in the championship game. So that's what we will try to do.
All right, Andy, Ezekiel, same question.
Yeah, I think from a game planning standpoint, from a team ownership standpoint, we just need to play our brand of football, right? The Vancouver, obviously, over the last 2 years has done a really good job of putting together, game plans that put us in position to win games. But like Ramos said, there is an element of the actual game itself that is a variable, right? The ball bounces into someone's hands when it's not supposed to. Someone fumbles for the first time over the season and it goes into the hands of the other team. Last year, Emmanuel Blackman in the championship game gets injured and is a question mark for half the game, right? In, out. So, I think we are going to put our brand of football out onto the field. come game day. And, that's the best that we can do. I think, having overturned so much of our team, to be here is a testament to kind of the brand of football that we put on the field. And win, lose, draw, the game never even kicks off because, Cam's internet goes down, whatever happens, I think our team and our franchise is in a really good spot right now. And we have a lot of team members that we've started to call lifers, who, are going to be on this team for, as long as they're going to be in the SFL. And so, obviously tomorrow or this weekend's a great opportunity to get that first ring, but that's not where our sights are, right? Our sights are on continuing to put our brand of football on the field. So, we're excited for the opportunity. We're very happy to be back and happy to be here. And we're going to put all of our effort into, bringing that trophy off of Mike Daggs' right shoulder and into my background. But, if that doesn't happen, then you're going to see us out here in season 26, and we're going to be coming with more vengeance. So we're just going to play our football. And I think that's all I can do as a coach and a team owner. But I don't know what might be going through Ezekiel's head right now as a player. I can't even imagine.
Well, let us know, Ezekiel.
No, I completely agree with Andy. We're going to play our brand of football, and our brand is run, it's pass, it's a strong, stout defense. Like Mike said, one game we'll come out there and we'll run it down your throat. Another game we'll air it out. You never really know what to expect from us, and I think that's a great way to keep everyone on their toes. But from my perspective, I think a lot of the burden is going to come down to Vancouver and us getting that monkey off our back and winning the game, winning a ring. Plus, Mexico City lost to us earlier this season. They can go back, they can look. They have that opportunity to say, this is what went wrong with us. It's a lot easier to fix those mistakes and come back and win a second time than for us to go out and beat Mexico City a second time. Or at least that's how I see it, how I think rematches typically play out. But we'll see.
I do have something special to present to you guys before we go. Guy Clausen wrote a poem about this matchup, and he asked me to recite it for him. So without further ado, this is for you. The clash of fire and frost. It's the rematch that fans have been craving to see, where legends are written on SimFL TV. Mexico City Aztecs blaze trails through the sky, smashing opponents and waving adios as they fly. They destroyed season 25, left no doubts, no pity. Championships sparked all across Aztec City. For hashtag 12 forever, that hope still remains bright. Another title on the horizon, growing red in the night. But from the north, a cold wind starts to blow. The Vancouver Legion, where the frosted warriors grow. The eternal frost army strikes with chilling precision. Aggression, agility, a sub-zero vision. Make Jordan Sipes see double, the Legion declare. Their defense stalks quarterbacks like polar bears, and leading the march with ice in his veins is General Andy Hamilton, forging frosted flames. His thirst for trophies, his unthawable goal, only gold can melt the ice wrapped around his soul. So, will the Aztecs' fire consume the frozen night, or will frostbite conquer by morning light? Strap in, dear fans, it's more than a game. It's fire versus frost, and only one will remain. The battlefield awaits. Let history spin, for in this rematch, only one storm will win.
Thanks, Cam. Appreciate you guys and everybody involved in making the Season 25 championship happen. Mike O'Neill here. Let's talk about Mexico City. I want to talk about number 13. Let's talk about No Terrazas right here. First of all, look at him finding the hole in the zone here against DC. He was doing this the entire night. so good against zone coverage. I'm going to show you another example, but my big key for Mexico City tonight is making sure that he gets on and gets his early. Right? Here's another example. This time it's just going to be against cover 3. He beats the mid-deep third defender here. And how about the athleticism? So not just that, right? The one-handed catch, but breaking the tackle, extending the play an extra 7 or 8 yards. That goes a long way. Now, I can sit here and talk about his threat in the receiving game. How about in the blocking game? This is a bare front for DC. By all means, this should be a tackle for loss. And look right here. Look at number 13 getting up to the second level, sealing it off for Buford Van Dam to really create a lane and pick up a massive gain here. The balance is elite for Mexico City. They do these little things right. They're going to need to do them tonight. Let's talk about Vancouver now. Little trip set here in the red zone. I wonder what kind of pass play it's going to be. They've got 4 wide receivers on the field. Surely it's a pass, right? Maybe not so much. We're going to go with a run to J.W. Doyle up the middle, diving into the end zone. Beautiful play call, right? Keeping the defense honest. They're so good at that, Cam. It's something they're really going to have to do tonight. Trip set again. This time, John Michael Sutton's at the top. He says big guys can't run routes, all right? Little man beater here, just running a drag across the field and getting the first down, right? So we showed you the run. We showed you the pass against man coverage. Let's show you a pass against zone coverage. And first of all here, let's not pay attention to John Michael Sutton at the top of the route because that's a little bit further than 5 yards downfield. But Ezekiel Bear finding a hole in the zone here is beautiful. This team has it all on offense. They can attack you in every single way, Cam. Both of these teams are very balanced. It's going to be a fun one tonight. Back to you guys.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Thank you, Ashley, for those interviews. Gerald, it's time for our picks. I don't know what you here. I got one for you.
Let's not. We're not doing that.
We're making picks.
Breaking uniform protocol is terrible.
What do you mean? Go Aztecs. That's who my pick is. Listen, I went 84-49 on the season. You went 80-53. You usually pick wrong, it seems. Who do you got in this one?
Look, it was an interesting setup. Look, both teams play good. Look, and it's a rematch of last year.
Pick
what
Mexico
we're gonna
City.
do here? Look, I have to go with Vancouver. Why? Just because of how dominant they've been. They've been consistent all season long, even in the games that they lost, right? Still crazy competitive. The only offense in the entire SFL that averages over 400 yards of offense, and then they're being really dominant. They own time of possession. They were number 1 in time of possession throughout the whole season. They had 22 minutes, right, average of what they did per game. What they did, they tacked on top of that. Now they're 26 minutes a game against their opponents in the playoffs. They're not giving their opponents the ball. They're just milking the clock away. And I don't think Mexico City is going to have enough opportunities to win. You make one mistake, it could be over for Mexico City, and I do believe it is. Canada is going to get their first SFL ring tonight.
It's okay to be wrong, Gerald. It's okay to be wrong. I, of course, am picking Mexico City. I'm offended that you didn't want to take my flag. Listen, that's it. That's all the time that we've got because the game is just minutes away. Seeing a couple notes in the chat that some people are having some trouble with the code to get into the convention. Don't worry, we'll get that all ironed out if there are any issues with it. We still got plenty of time. Thank you for joining us for the Matt Wilson SFL Kickoff Show all season long and the Season 25 Championship Kickoff Show tonight. Appreciate you all being here. We've got Mexico City. We've got Vancouver coming up next, wrapping up 25 seasons of SFL action. For Gerald Smith, for Cameron Irvine, for Charles Doherty, who's waiting for us in the booth, for Ashley Jackson and Mike O'Neill, and everybody on the Vancouver Legion, and, of course, my beloved Mexico City Aztecs. Get ready. The championship game starts next. Go Aztecs!
for the first time, the second time in a row. It's Mexico City and Vancouver from Zolnir Championship Field in Baltimore, Maryland. Tonight, it is the Season 25 SFL Championship game. And alongside Ron Haynes and Justin Reside on stats, Charles Doherty is right here with me at VFN headquarters, ready to call the game tonight. It doesn't get any better than this, Charles, a rematch for the ages.
Yeah, the best of the best from coaching standpoint, best of the best from a player standpoint. Like you said, couldn't ask for a better matchup. I'm so excited. I want to dive into it, and let's get this thing going.
We hope everyone had a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. To all of you out there who enjoyed it, pull up a plate of leftovers and watch this fantastic game with us tonight. The two-time defending champions against a Vancouver team that got so close last year, looking for their first opportunity to hoist a title.
Yeah, and I mean, way to bounce back. They said in the pregame show, I mean, hats off to Vancouver, able to do restaff and be just as good, if not better, in the backfield. Just very impressive, and they earned their spot here tonight.
The ball has been kicked off, and we are underway. 8 yards deep in the end zone. That'll be a knee from Jared Dumas. Jordan Sipe is the Mexico City quarterback, and in his last 3 games, 1 touchdowns, 4 picks. They're going to need a little more out of him tonight.
Oh, definitely. He's going to have to show us some. He's going up against a real tough and big defensive line in Vancouver. They tower at least 4 inches over him.
First down and 10. They're going to start with a run up the middle. That's Ray Bentley picking up 3. You'll notice immediately our improved presentation, our improved visuals tonight here in the SFL Championship game. And I know that you and I I've been drooling over it all day long, waiting to watch this game play.
It's nice to see the entire secondary in action.
And now we have the game sound from that. Thank you, chat. Appreciate that. Second down and 7 with 2 in the backfield. Jordan Sipe at his own 23-yard line will toss that out to Morrison, and he is stuffed in the backfield by big number, that was, I believe, Gerald Giudice up the line. Let's talk about the rest of this Mexico City offense. Jordan Sipe, Jacob Morrison, Ray Bentley, Buford Van Dam, Jason Bartley, Jonas Adobe, Noe Terrasas, Jared Dumas, and Bill Henry. We'll get to the offensive line if we can, but that pass is quickly over the middle and incomplete. We will not, as Vancouver's Drew Hamilton and company get the quick 3-and-out stop on the Aztecs.
Well, early on, this defense of Vancouver's been putting a lot of pressure on that offensive line and Sipe, and it paid dividends. I mean, they are aggressive. I think we're going to see this all night. Extra players up on the line, forcing Sipe to beat him.
The punter is K.L. Barrett Jr., and a good start for the Vancouver Legion defense. That is quickly down to the 38-yard line, and that is where the Vancouver Legion will start their first offensive possession. Christian Brown is their quarterback, and unlike Sipe, Brown in his last 3 games has been tremendous.
Oh, very tremendous. And also we saw a lot of running out of the backfield for Vancouver last couple games. Not sure if that was some smoke and mirrors for tonight. Let's see how they do on the field.
Well, they're starting with a pass. It's Christian Brown out of a clean pocket, fires it over to John Michael Sudduth, but Sudduth's actually going to lose 2 yards on the play. Second down and 12 coming up.
And, you know, Gerald said this in the pregame. This Vancouver offense is all about timing, and much like we saw on the Vancouver side for defense, let's see if Mexico City does the same and try and upset the balance.
Christian Brown dropping a throw, wide open across the field. That is complete to BK12, Brett Killian for a first down into Aztec territory.
Yeah, past the the cornerback coverage there in the zone, and the offensive line for Vancouver just held their own. They sent the blitzer in on the Mexico City side, and no luck at all, and just found a wide open Killian downfield.
You see the offense and defensive starters scrolling across the bottom of your screen. This is a handoff for Vancouver. Jalen Wells on the carry at fullback. Christian Brown is back there with Lloyd. J.W. Doyle, Jalen Wells, Nick Lockett, D'Angelo Lopez, Brett Killian, Ezekiel Barron, John Michael Sudduth. Vancouver's offensive front includes Gregory Winnell, Frank Burks, Mango Moody, Zach Turner, and Oliver Couch. This is a handoff to the fullback up the middle, and that is Devin Lloyd in the fullback spot, bringing us a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, we were looking at the stats here pregame, and one of the things that jumped out to me is the 2 fullbacks and the halfback, they all average 4.1 per carry, and that's just amazing. Good consistency across the board.
3 receivers, 2 off the right side for Brown. Brown's going to drop the throw. Looking down the field, deep shot for John Michael Sudduth. That is incomplete. Broken up by Max Jackson to bring up a 4th down and 5. Both defenses get an early stop.
Yeah, that's strong safety, Max Jackson. You are comfortable when he's in one-on-one coverage deep. He is known for his hits. The ball gets near him or his defender, he's going to, the offender, he's going to make them pay for it. And I like to see that the refs are letting them play some football tonight so far.
So Mexico City not winning the field position battle early, but at least they don't give any points on their opening drive. Chance to win is their punter and kicker. This one goes inside the 10, and we missed the angle on that just a bit, but it was downed at the 8-yard line. You know, there's give and take sometimes with technology, and we're gonna take that to get a better angle all night long.
Well, actually, we were just waiting to see if someone in chat saw it. I mean, with just their attention to detail, and you already gave that one away.
1st and 10 at the 8-yard line for Mexico City off the turnover. They hand it off to Ray Bentley, picking up 8 yards down to about the 16-yard line.
That's pretty big here early in the game. They need a little spark, and who else you go to? Ray Bentley, nice 8-yard scamper there.
2nd down and 2, 6:40 to go in the opening quarter. And they're going to toss it again out to Morrison. This time the block stayed true. That was, it looked like big number 77 out there making a hit for a 1st down.
Yeah, good blocking on the edge. And, I mean, they both of these teams, the battles in the trenches is going to be something to see tonight. I mean, they're the best of the best, and going to be a lot of bruises tonight.
Check that, 72 Greg Forrest was up front. That tackle made by Marquise Reed on Bentley. The offensive line for Mexico City, Ova Yonda, Sitlamina Oceloto, Greg Forrest, Tatalani Supremo, and Ogden Foundy. They combine for 4 all-star appearances as Sipe drops to throw. That pass is incomplete, looking for Bill Henry down to the 35-yard line, but there was Marquise Reed again making the play.
Marquise Reed, I mean, that is pretty darn good coverage there for a linebacker downfield against a very solid tight end.
3rd down, 10 yards to go for the Aztecs as Jordan Sipe from his 22-yard line is still trying to get the Aztecs a 1st down. Sipe with a 2-by-2 look here against a dime set. Jordan Sipe dropping a throw, will check it down, and that's going to lose 2 yards. And there again was Marquise Reed. And I know he's at outside, but we were talking about maybe the best linebacking core of this game might win this game.
Yeah, definitely. Especially keep an eye on the middle linebackers. I think that's a key tonight. I think the middle linebacker that performs the best, I think his team has a pretty good shot of being on the right side of this one.
From the 37-yard line on the return up to the 40. That is big number 88, Ezekiel Bear on the return, who spoke to Ashley in pregame interview. You know, Ezekiel Bear has really come on strong. He may not be the top weapon for Vancouver, but he's one of the things that makes this offense special.
Yeah, good point. I mean, Mark was telling me before the game, you know, he was a wide receiver 4 last season, and now he's wide receiver 3, but he's playing like, you know, we could line up as a 2 on any team in the league. He doubled his stats from last season. And I think the most important thing is he's awesome in the locker room.
1st down for Vancouver as Christian Brown drops to throw that one. He's up to 38 yards so far, and that one a tight window into double coverage.
Yeah, we're seeing, I think, a little heavy on the pass for Vancouver, which is great. That's what they do best. But they're not giving up on the run. Like to see that they're trying to keep that defense of Mexico City on their heels.
Empty rollout. Christian Brown fires and caught at the 25-yard line. John Michael Sudeth for the Vancouver 1st down.
Both of these teams are the best in the league, I think, at executing those rollout plays. I mean, that can be feast or famine. You don't execute that perfectly, especially on the edge, it's going to be a nightmare for your quarterback. And just look at that. I think that's the tight end there setting that edge perfectly for that downfield pass.
I would say so far so good start for Vancouver. They might not have any points up on the board just yet, but they have certainly looked the most dynamic so far as Max Jackson ended up making that tackle.
Yeah, they're seeing that what they practiced on all week in some aspects is working, and they can just keep going to the to the bin to pick it out and run it again.
1st down and 10, 4:20 to go in the 1st quarter. This is Brown dropping a throw, and that ball is over the head of Brett Killian, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, just tight coverage downfield. That's going up against Mexico City. They're very solid in man-to-man, and in most cases, when you're worried about that when you're guarding the likes of Killian, but Mexico City is one of the only teams in the league that can run with him.
This is John Michael Sudeth going in motion, 2nd down and 10 at the Mexico City 25-yard line. Brown's definitely going to drop back to throw again, his 7th pass of the 1st quarter, and that ball is caught by Ezekiel Bear. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
And Bear just drifts into that gap in the zone coverage. And the timing, we mentioned timing at the top of the call. They've got it down to an art form. Steps back there in his head. He's going through the timing, knows when he needs to get rid of it, and finds Bear right there in the gap.
Jeffrey Daggs on that tackle for Mexico City. Get another look at it here. So far, Christian Brown 5 of 7 for 75 yards. As Daggs gets the wrap up, that is his first tackle of the game.
Yeah, first and goal. Let's see if they bring out the run here. Looks like they may be going past. Not sure. No, they're going run.
Heavy look at around the 6.5-yard line as Vancouver looks for the game's first points. That's Devin Lloyd on the carry, but not much room there as Qualzinho Leah makes the tackle.
Well, we've said this all season, Cam. With teams like Vancouver that like to run those spread offenses, it's hard to do it in this spot of the field because there's not a lot of room to work with.
Second down and goal. Toss play out to Lloyd. Oh! No, they said he was out of bounds.
No way.
He did. I didn't see him step out of bounds. That is a surprising call by the officials right at the goal line.
Well, I think if he did, that was a pretty heads-up play to take the eyes away from the feet and dive into the air like that.
No kidding, because it totally distracted me. Third and goal at the goal line for Vancouver. This is a handoff to the fullback, and that is a touchdown, and that is Devin Lloyd into the end zone. Vancouver strikes first.
You couldn't ask for a better drive for Vancouver. I mean, they whittled away early in the drive, pass, completion. Then they got into the red zone area near the goal line, and they just pounded it in for the score.
Extra point coming up for Vancouver as they are the first team on the board tonight.
We've got to see how Mexico City responds. I mean, this is the key. They can't keep giving that ball back to Vancouver. They're going to make them pay, and they're going to be in quite the hole.
Extra point for chance to win is up and good. It is 7-0. The Legion take the first point, 7-play, 60-yard drive, and that was something that we looked at before the game started. Both of these teams have an ability to jump out quick on you. For most of their opponents this season, it has been the death knell.
Yeah, it's almost been like a 2-to-1 ratio from they outscored their opponents 2-to-1 in the first quarter. That didn't come out very well, but yeah, you gotta, if you're playing either of these teams, you have to hang with them in the first, or it's going to be quite the hole you're going to have to dig out of.
So the Legion get the touchdown, but right now Mexico City's just trying to get a first down. This looks a lot like their first meeting earlier this season where the offense really struggled to get going. They're going to start out of the empty here on 1st and 10 from the 20. That going in motion is Jason Bartley in his 11th season, making his first All-Star game this season. As Sipe drops to throw, he will fire over the middle. That pass is caught by Bartley, picking up 12 yards for an Aztec first down.
Yeah, I mean, Bartley's a key to this, but also they're going to have to find a way to get some touches to Terrassa. So I know it's very early in the game. I don't believe he's been targeted yet, but they got to, even if he doesn't catch it, just to show that they're not afraid to throw to him in the tight coverage, it's going to keep that defense a little looser.
At least the Aztecs can say that they have now moved the chains up to this point. 2 for 4 for 10 yards to start for Jordan Sipe. He had that dump off on third. And it's Josh Farnsey, the inside linebacker, unblocked, getting our first sack of the game for a loss of 4.
Second sack in the playoffs, and that it looked like he went untouched in between. Yeah, nobody touched him. You got to pick that man up because Farnsey's a beast. When he comes through that gap, if you don't have a fullback on him or an offensive line, he's going to hit that quarterback and hit him hard.
Second down and 14 off the sack. That's the second play for loss today for Vancouver's defense. Sipe now gets him out of pressure and throws into double coverage to Bartley again for the Mexico City first down.
That was a pass under duress, but a very accurate pass right up to the shoulder level for Bartley. Good coverage by Blackman as well. Still able to get that pass off and accurate. Impressive.
Coming up to make the hit at the end of that was Jack Russell, and unfortunately unable to jar the ball loose as Mexico City has back-to-back completions for back-to-back first downs.
Yeah, and that's the kind of hit you expect him to drop. I mean, well done.
One in the backfield. That is Morrison, and Morrison is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. This run game trying to get going. 15 yards on their first 5 carries. That's Marquise Reed again.
Yeah, Vancouver's not afraid to put extra people up there on the line, be it the safeties, be it the the linebackers. They're trying to force them to pass.
2 receivers far side left as Bill Henry goes in motion. By the way, on those first couple of drives, things were very fast for you at home. I think we got that cleaned up, so now everything looks normal and crisp. That's Ray Bentley doing normal things, gaining positive yardage and getting a 3rd down.
We've seen a lot of man-to-man out of Vancouver tonight. Let's see if they stick with it here. Looks like they're showing zone.
That 3rd down and 6. Bartley's going to go in motion. No targets for Terrasas, Dumas, or Adobe so far. This is Sipe dropping a throw. Sipe with a clean pocket, fires down the field. In the air and almost caught by Bartley on the deflection. Pass intended for Bill Henry, but another drive is going to stall out. And Marquise Reed seems to be involved on every play tonight.
He's all over the place. And what's impressing me is his coverage in the pass. I know he's a solid linebacker, but I don't know if I've seen that level of pass coverage from him.
So another punt out of Mexico City as Vancouver's defense gets the stop once again. The ball is going to go inside the 10 and trickle into the end zone and out of the field of play with 30 seconds to go. And that is where Vancouver will take over.
Yeah, and Christian Brown so far, he's got a 71% completion percentage. He's been spreading the ball, decently. 2 wide receivers and Sadeth. Lockett and Lopez need to get a little involvement there, but so far so good.
Final 30 seconds of the first quarter as Brown will roll out and fire down the field, tip of the air and almost picked. That was nearly taken away by Gerard Brody in his 9th season, all with Mexico City. Sets up a 2nd down, the 3rd incompletion of the night for Vancouver.
Yeah, this type of game with what's on the line, you have to bring that ball in and help your team out, get the ball back, and get some momentum.
2nd down, 25 seconds to go. Christian Brown dropping a throw, fires, and in tight coverage, Ezekiel Baer makes the grab to pick up 9. 3rd down and 1 coming up off the completion.
I mean, that's the type of route and catch, that you expect, a 10-year veteran to do. I mean, he's 2 years in this league, and he is opening some eyes, Baer.
That is the end of the first quarter of work, and good work it was for the Vancouver Legion. It's Mexico City 0 and Vancouver 7. You're watching the SFL Season 25 Championship right here on the Virtual Football Network, alongside Justin Reside and Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Charles Doherty's right here alongside me. I'm Cameron Irvine, and we had a good first quarter. Looking for a good second one here on 3rd down and short. Christian Brown going to hand it off to that fullback spot. Going to pick up the 1st down and move the chains for Vancouver. Let's take a look at those first quarter statistics. As you can see, Vancouver up to nearly 100 yards already.
Yeah, and they're leaning heavily on the pass, but when they do run it, they've been very successful.
So fresh set of downs for Vancouver. Up to the 31-yard line. This is D'Angelo Lopez going into the backfield. That pass was intended for Killian, but it is incomplete. 2nd down.
That's a big hit. I mean, you got to the secondary for Mexico City has to start leaving some marks on those wide receivers and let them, that they're going to pay. They're going to try and get some separation. When the ball comes to them, the defender's going to make them feel it.
2nd and 10 for Brown. 6 of 10 for 84 yards to start the night. You can see Jack's Data's lines are back. Vancouver 3.5-point favorite coming into the night at 45.5. 3 receivers short side left for Brown. Brown's going to roll that direction. Brown looking for some spacing, and it's caught by Joe Michael, breaking a tackle. 30, JMS 20, 10, 5, 3. Chased down from behind, but not until Vancouver's got a 1st and goal.
We talked about on those rollout plays setting the edge and how important it was, and it looks like it started to break down a little bit. But Christian Brown's, you see right there, the block wasn't able to stop the defender, got of a defender right up in Brown's face, and he was able to just throw a dot to the tight end. I know that the Sudduth wishes he got in that end zone, but what a great play for him to set his team up for some extra points.
There's not many people that can make Jeffrey Daggs look small, but John Michael Sudduth definitely made him look small on that play. A 66-yard catch and run for JMS. The handoff at the fullback spot, breaking a tackle. Devin Lloyd had one touchdown earlier tonight off of that, but is unable to get in there. Second down and goal.
And let's see if they run this formation again. We see a lot of, obviously the fullback run up the middle, but they also have a pitch in their arsenal. Let's see if that's in the playbook, and that's a pretty deadly play.
5 on the line, 10 in the box. There's the pitch, and easy as you please. Touchdown Vancouver. They're up 2 scores, and they're the team that's gotten out in front first. J.W. Doyle with the run-in.
Yeah, and his first touch of the game in a key spot. I mean, every one of these players in the backfield for Vancouver, when they touch the ball, they make the best of it.
Doyle's got a touchdown. Lloyd's got a touchdown, and a very fast start for the Vancouver Legion. If you're Mexico City, this is starting to look like the matchup earlier this season. How should they approach this next drive as the game starts to get away from them a little bit? 7-play, 80-yard drive.
As I stated earlier, they're going to have to find a way to target Terrazas and get him the ball. I mean, even if it's in tight coverage, he's strong enough to be able to bring the ball in. And you have to, I would have maybe throw in some passing out of the backfield to their between Bentley, Van Dam, and Morrison. They're all skilled receivers. Mix it up, throw a swing pass every now and then just to keep that defense loose.
Marquise Reed is back on the field, and he's one of a couple Legion players that are retiring at the end of this season, and he's certainly having a game to remember tonight. Already 3 tackles, and he has been everywhere and anywhere for this Vancouver Legion squad. A first down for Mexico City as they start their 4th possession. This is a Ray Bentley run, picking up 5.
Yeah, a nice run off, on first down. They're going to need to do, we saw a lot of rollouts on the Vancouver side. Maybe if they've got that in their playbook, they can, show a couple of those here again to keep the defense guessing.
2nd and 4. Mexico City would like to slow this game down just a little bit and go ground and pound. That is Noe Terrazas in motion, who's had a quiet first half. They'll pitch it out to Morrison, and they have been all over that. That's Marquise Reed again, part of the Vancouver leaders here tonight so far.
Yeah, it's tough to run. I mean, it's going to be a surprise to the audience, but it's tough to run against Vancouver. They put pressure on the line, and those linebackers, their closing speed is just Olympic speed.
3rd down and 6 coming up for the Aztecs. They got to get something moving. Jordan Sipe is in the empty. Sipe back to pass, and a dart to the 41-yard line, caught by Bill Henry. That was a tough squeeze for Jordan Sipe, but he managed to make it happen.
Tough squeeze indeed, but they definitely needed that first down, that nice gain, build some confidence up in their passing game. We've seen a little bit of one-sidedness from an execution standpoint for the Mexico City offense, and I know, Ramos and Daggs want to see a little bit more success out of the passing game.
7 minutes to go in the first half. Mexico City trailing 14-0. The 2-time defending champions have their backs against the wall. Vancouver looking for their first championship in franchise history as Bentley gets a solid 6. That's back-to-back 6-yard runs on first down.
Yeah, that's a huge, a relief for an offense when you're able to set yourself in a good position, second and manageable, and sequentially, it gives the quarterback, success, a chance for success.
2nd and 4, they'll pitch it to Morrison. This time a little bit of room for Morrison, but he's still struggling to find the space. Russell on the tackle, a 3rd down and 2 coming up.
Again, another example of closing speed by that linebacking core. I mean, it looked like it was pretty decent setup on the edge, but man, the linebackers for Vancouver just shut it down.
The Aztecs are 1 of 4 on 3rd down so far in the ball game. This is a 3rd down and 2 yards to go. They'll hand it off to Bentley. Ray Bentley's got a first down to the Vancouver 47-yard line. And so far, so good for Mexico City, trying to shorten this game and keep Vancouver's offense off the field.
Yeah, it's been a good drive so far. Again, a lot of emphasis on the run, but when they needed to pass, they've executed.
Under 6 to go in the first half. This has been the most consistent drive for the Aztecs today, but they still have not managed to get a lot going through the air. 4 of 7, 46 yards. Can Sipe change that here? Pass caught by Bartley. First down to the Vancouver 35-yard line.
And another example where the defensive line is right up in the face of the quarterback, and we're just looking at two, extremely good, talented quarterbacks on Mexico City in this case, and obviously Brown on the other side. But it's so hard to get rid of the ball like that, especially when you're talking about this pregame. Sipe is 5'11", and the defensive line, I believe, averages 4 inches taller than him. So that's a hard to throw over.
Nice job by Sipe waiting for him to clear the zone. This is a handoff to Bentley on the right-hand side, picking up 2 yards. There's Marquise Reed again.
Yeah, he's on fire. I mean, I hope that all the players on the team ate what he ate in the pregame meal.
Some leaders for Mexico City we'll get to here in just a moment. Second down and 8 yards to go. 4:40 to go. Hand off to Morrison. Not much there. Another third down coming up. Morrison has really struggled to get moving.
Yeah, and that was a big stop by Farnsey. Another thing about these linebackers for the Legion, they are big. I mean, we've got 270 pounds for Farnsey and 280 for Woods. Reed's on the light side at 255, but nevertheless, that's pretty heavy for a linebacker.
Third down and 6. 4:15 to go in the first half. Jordan Sipe dropping a throw. Sipe out of the backfield. Nice little.
That's what they needed to do.
It's a Texas route without the hook in it.
That's
As
right.
Bentley gets to the 15.
That was so smart. I mean, Bentley he's got the skills as a receiving, receiver out of the backfield. They don't highlight that as much as they did in the past. But man, when they go to that well, the water tastes sweet.
Mexico City can't be liking how much they're flirting with disaster on third down so far, but hey, they're converting him on this drive. Vancouver, or up to the Vancouver 14-yard line, trips off the right side for Sipe. That pass is caught by Bartley down to the 2-yard line. First and goal coming up for the Aztecs as they have put together a phenomenal drive.
And it's been the Bartley and Henry show. With the exception of that one reception by Bentley out of the backfield. I mean, Henry and Bartley have been finding openings in the coverage, and Sipe has just been delivering strikes.
An 11-play drive right now for Mexico City, the longest by either team tonight. It started at their own 20-yard line, and with 8 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, a 5-minute drive to shorten this first half, try to get back in this game from the 1-yard line. The handoff to Ray Bentley. Touchdown, Mexico City.
Who else? I mean, great block there as well. Untouched in the end zone, capping off a drive that not only was, impressive, but much needed, being down by 2 scores.
Another look at it as there's not much to look at. Bentley goes untouched for 1 yard in the score. And we've had 3 rushing touchdowns in this first half. And what's interesting about that, Charles, is both of these teams really don't give up a lot of rushing touchdowns. It's pretty rare, especially for Vancouver, to give up already a couple on the night.
Yeah, I mean, but both of these teams, we said they're the best of the best, and if any of these coaches are going to find holes in their opponent, it's these guys.
Or Mexico City, rather, I meant to say. That is a 12-play, 80-yard, 5-minute, and 8-second drive for the Aztecs, and they breathe a sigh of relief with 3:17 to go in the opening quarter. They're now trailing by just a touchdown, 14-7, but now they have to figure out how to stop this vaunted Vancouver offense.
Yeah, their last drive was, 2.5 minutes compared to 5, so Vancouver's quick strike, and, Mexico City is slow and methodical.
Killian on that return. I'm actually kind of surprised to see Killian back in those duties after he fumbled the opening kickoff last week against Houston. I thought they might do a little switcheroo, but they trust him.
Yeah, they got plenty of options, but Killian is definitely very good at it, so can't blame him.
Christian Brown is 7 of 11 for $150, averaging 13.6 yards per attempt. His QBR is 107.2. That's the third time in the last 4 games he's had a QBR over 100. That pass is caught by Killian up to the 39-yard line for the Vancouver first down.
Perfect body placement by Killian on that route, using his wide shoulders to kind of block the route to the ball from the quarterback, and a very accurate pass there by Brown.
2 catches for 37 yards for Killian, as Vancouver will have 1 in the backfield. Mexico City changing some things up on defense, moving some guys around. The handoff goes to wow, Jalen Wells.
Yowza.
I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that Wells just murdered someone in broad daylight, or that they only got 4 yards on the play. Good pursuit.
That's okay. I mean, that right there was a statement run.
For Jalen Wells.
Holy smokes.
A spectacular carry on just his second of the game. Handoff up the middle, picking up a few more. That is Devin Lloyd on the carry. That'll set up a 3rd down and 2.
Now this is where I wonder what Vancouver's going to throw at them. Are they going to try and power it in, or are they going to go back to a pass?
We've hit the 2-minute warning. Well, it was starting to become a snoozer, not anymore. We got another dynamic and exciting SFL championship game right here on the Virtual Football Network. Justin Rezai, Ron Haynes, Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine here with you at Zolnir Championship Field for the 25th time in league history. 14-7 Vancouver. They're going to toss it out this way.
So
Devin Lloyd's going to break a tackle and have a first down up the Aztec 42-yard line and stop the clock.
Yeah, I mean, that pitch play is so dangerous. Their running backs are so powerful, and they put that stiff arm out. I mean, it should be illegal.
Christian Brown to the 43-yard line of Mexico City. Moving his unit down the field again, trying to respond to this Aztec touchdown. Brown dropping a throw, fires it, complete, and rolling over the first down line was Ezekiel Bear. Bear's a 4th grab of the night already.
Yeah, I mean, that right there was a hallmark pass by this offense. It's all in timing. You got to get rid of it just at the right millisecond. Otherwise, it's going to turn into an interception or batted away ball.
2nd and 1, handoff to Lloyd, has the first down, and Vancouver's drive will continue.
It's amazing. I mean, it's so fun watching both of these teams' offense. And I mean, different flavors of ice cream, but both of them taste great.
Both teams have 8 first downs. That one was overshot, and Gerard Brody had his second opportunity at an interception he couldn't come down with.
That was the one pass so far tonight for Brown that was not accurate at all. So, but all his other passes have been crisp and on the line, and that one was I'm not sure what happened.
Over 200 yards of offense for Vancouver in the first half. Going to send Sudduth in motion. 2-by-2 look now for Vancouver. Brown dropping a throw. Christian Brown fires into double coverage. Not sure what he saw there. Intended for Sudduth. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Yeah, he was trying to get that watermelon through a straw, and there wasn't a lot of room for him.
Christian Brown, his first incomplete pass, or I should say his second most incomplete pass. He's 5 of 10 for 115 yards. As Christian Brown will roll outside and fire it incomplete to Brett Killian, and that'll set up 4th down. So not such a terrible end there for Mexico City defensively. This is going to be a not-so-easy 48-yard field goal outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, Twin has the leg for it. He hit a 48, yard, 48 long is, what am I trying to say?
Oh, he's trying to say that the kick is good.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
10-play, 43-yard drive.
My tongue got numb there for a second. I was thinking about when Dag said he kissed the stingray.
Yeah, I don't know.
It threw me off.
I don't know what was up with that.
Yeah.
And then
he loves sea animals.
Yeah, but that's a little too much.
Yeah.
That's. I think it's illegal.
In some states, yes.
Or countries. I don't know about Mexico.
Well, except for Atlantis, it's not frowned on.
Deep kick into the back of the end zone is going to be brought out to the 20-yard line. So Mexico City gets a half stop, and they'll have 58 seconds left on the clock to try to make something happen here with all 3 of their timeouts.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of time, and they haven't shown a lot of quick strikes, so let's see what they put on the field.
First down and 10. 58 seconds left in the first half. They're just going to hand it off to Bentley. Can Bentley make something happen? He does pick up 6 yards, but not enough for Mexico City to think that they might be able to do something here.
Yes, a lot of field to go with 45 seconds left.
Neither quarterback has had that critical mistake either, and so nobody's trying to lose any kind of momentum here late in the half, and it's been a first half that has mostly belonged to Vancouver. Morrison cuts it back inside, but will not pick up the first down. Jack Russell on the tackle.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep seeing more of this as they go into the locker room. Who gets that? I forgot. Does Mexico City get the ball at the beginning of the next half?
Vancouver gets the ball. So
okay.
they get that quick 3 and out. Jack Russell's up to 10 tackles.
Unbelievable.
He has been excellent. This is in the final seconds. Jordan Syke dropping back to pass. That pass is complete. Time has expired. Noe Terrasas finally makes the catch, but that is the end of the first half.
I tell you what, you go into halftime and you keep Terrasas to 1 reception, and it's on the last drive of the half when everyone's they've got 12 deep. I mean, you're doing a pretty darn good job on defense for Vancouver. So, Mexico City needs to go into the locker room and they need to make some adjustments on defense to slow down this Vancouver offense, and maybe even add a wrinkle or two on their offense to spread it out a little bit, because they've been tight in the box, running it up upfield, and Vancouver's the type of defense that could just kind of swallow that whole.
We hit the break, 17-7, Vancouver on top of Mexico City. Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith talked a lot about a lot of big things coming to the SFL in 2026. What stands out to you, Joe?
I like the playoff format. I think that's I think that's the best way to go. I also like the how you broke out the divisions too. I think it's going to build up a lot of rivalries for regionally, and what else can you say? I like the fact that the conventions in Denver, I could just hop in a car and drive up there. So it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to all these exciting changes next season, and we're on a good start.
Ray Bentley is your halftime player, despite it being 17-7, and for Vancouver, they are just 20 minutes away from finally capturing that first title. And, you want to talk about a team that's been good for years and years and years, and they've gotten better and better and better. Andy Hamilton, of course, guided the team, to all the success that they've had, but then getting Mark Lopez and Brett Killian involved has been sort of that extra boost, that extra oomph that this team has needed over the years to try to get to the promised land, and they have to be pretty pleased at how they did in the first half.
Oh yeah, they should be. And the name Lopez keeps coming up. I personally think he's got the best coaching mind out of anyone in the league. I mean, as someone who's worked side by side with him, he's just I call him a mad scientist, but man, he puts a lot of time in, and scrutinizes everything and puts together some dang good plans.
First down to the 26. This is Christian Brown back to pass. It is caught by Ezekiel Bear at the 38-yard line, and Bear is the leading receiver for Vancouver tonight. You never know what they're going to throw at you, and that's their wrinkle this evening.
And we were bragging on Bear here early in the game, and he's showing it here in the biggest game of the season. They're relying on him to move the ball downfield in big-time situations, and wow, for 2 seasons in the league, I said it. That's a heck of a lot of contribution for a team.
Going back to the playoff format you were talking about, not only is it now a chase for first place in the division, but there's also down the stretch the chase for second place in the division, because that can at least get you a first-round bye and out of the wild card. So creates a lot more interest and intrigue as we go down.
Oh
the
yeah,
line.
definitely. I mean, not that we haven't had a lot already.
We're always trying to get better. Christian Brown dropping a throw. Quick fire! Overthrow this time. Max Jackson back the other way. Inside the 20, down to the 13-yard line. That is the third overthrow by Christian Brown tonight, and the first one that bites him. The Aztecs are back in business.
Yeah, you do that too many times against this secondary, and they are going to make you pay. And definitely if you're doing it against the likes of Max Jackson, 16 seasons in the league, you're not going to fool him.
Great stat here by Andy Hamilton in the chat. Vancouver 2-6 when scoring less than 21 points in the last 2 seasons, but 19-1 when they score over 24. As
That's amazing.
As they look to, they were trying to get to that mark. They still can on their next drive, but now Mexico City has an opportunity at the Vancouver 13-yard line following the interception. Trying to get back into this thing. The closest they've been is 7, if you're not counting opening kickoff. Terrasas goes in motion for the Aztecs. The handoff to Ray Bentley, picking up a couple yards. Will bring up a 2nd down and 7, already his 11th carry.
Yeah, I think that's smart to move pre-snap, move Terrasas around. Gives Sipe a good idea of what he's going to face on that play and can make some adjustments.
After the 3-yard gain for Bentley. Heavy look on the right side. That's where they're tossing to, but it doesn't matter. Ray Bentley taking Marquise Reed for a ride, but only a gain of a half a yard as Reed makes another stop.
And Reed is he's feasting tonight. He's all over the place, especially on that edge. He's dangerous.
3rd and 7, Aztecs 3 of 7 on 3rd down tonight, up to 150 total yards. Jordan Sipe dropping a throw, fires in zone, incomplete. Jack Russell in coverage along with one other. I think that might have been Mark Lopez in the end zone. It's 4th down.
That was a. We talk about statements. That was a pretty solid statement by the defense of Vancouver, and kind of lessen the pain of that turnover.
There's Blackman in coverage in the back of the end zone. We'll get another look at it here. Just outside of the reach, hit him in the fingertips. Reminds me of my days on the playground. You know, you're so close. You're so close to being an actual athlete, but just didn't happen. 27-yard field goal attempt for Mexico City's Chaz Blackwater, his first of the night, to make it a 1-score game. And Blackwater's kick, moving right to left, is good. 17-10 is your score. But after the interception, only a 2-yard drive for Mexico City as Vancouver's defense gets a big-time stop.
That was huge. I mean, that's all you could do short of a turnover. I mean, you knock it down to a field goal and, kind of lessen the pain.
So we're back to Vancouver now, who provided us with our first turnover of the game. Last time out, this is Brett Killian from inside the end zone up to the 23-yard line. And that'll set up Vancouver to try again here to start the second half.
Yeah, like you said, with Brett returning the kicks there, I wonder if that impacts when they decide to pass on that first down, going to Bear instead of Killian based on stamina.
First down at the 23-yard line. 8:11 to go in the third quarter. Christian Brown drops to throw, and that's Brett Killian again. Doesn't affect him. Oh, no. That's an injury for Mexico City, but fortunately for them, it was one of their other linebackers, Mo Lewis. That could have been problematic for Mexico City, and who knows, if that was a substitution error, it might have been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, and you hate to see an injury, but from purely selfish reasons, it takes away my wrong statement from earlier.
We love that.
Killian goes out there with a one-handed one right after I said that.
We love that for us. So 30 yards to the outside, 166 in the middle for Christian Brown and the Vancouver Legion. Off his back foot, and Brett Killian's got a catch to the 46-yard line of Mexico City.
I mean, they need to. Mexico City kind of needs to take a page from Vancouver. They're targeting Killian. That's his 9th, maybe 10th target. Maybe one behind, but man, Terrasas has only been targeted once. That you need to get your star wide receivers involved.
That was a very clutch block right at the end of that play as we watch Killian on the little skinny post route right at the 50-yard line of beautiful Zolnir Championship Field. And that was just too much. Brody gave him way too much distance. Yeah, he was drifting way back there. I don't know. I think he saw someone in the stands that maybe came to cheer for him. First down for the Legion, up 17-10, 7:38 to go in the third quarter of the 25th SFL Championship. Roll out to the right, up, almost caught, picked, whatever the case, but it falls incomplete. John Osiris reaching back to make the play.
The defense of Mexico City blew up that rollout. I mean, that's what you want to see by the defense. Can't let Vancouver's been executing that pretty darn well tonight so far, but not on that play.
Second down and 10. Brown is 12 of 21 for 217. Sudduth goes in motion. He has 3 grabs. No catches for Lockett or Lopez. Lockett, the bigger surprise of that bunch. This is Brown dropping a throw. That pass is caught one-handed. Killian first down to the 29-yard line. They're putting Killian on that right side, not the left side. There's a matchup there they feel like they can exploit.
Yeah, and to your point about Lockett, Lockett's a kind of a late bloomer in games. He's pretty quiet in the first half, but man, he starts finding the openings there, mid to late second half.
5 catches for 85 yards. Let us know what you think of the changes and adjustments to our presentation here tonight. So much more coming and on the way, but certainly happy to bring you the championship game tonight with something a little bit new. Christian Brown getting up and picking up 6, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, 6-yard run from your quarterback. I mean, it's normally you're like, oh no, and then you get 6 yards, like okay, as long as he gets up and can play again.
Down to 6:42 to go in the third. 17-10. Vancouver up a touchdown, trying to once again extend it to a 2-score lead, but that's not going to help. John Fowler, who's been dinged up the last month or so, has played healthy tonight and makes his 3rd tackle.
Yeah, he's maintaining that middle section of the field, but that type of play where you shut down the running back coming through the A gap, I mean, that's huge.
111 watching the SFL Championship right now on VFN. This is Christian Brown to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Killian out of the back, but it's 4th and 4 coming up.
That happened pretty quickly. Let's see the coverage here. I think there was a safety and a cornerback kind of got closed in on that one. That would have been a tough catch.
So that'll bring up a 40-yarder for a chance to win. He needed 4 to pass Cliff Allen for 10th all-time in SFL history. This will be his 2nd. Hopes this one is good as well. That would put Vancouver back up by 10. The swinging leg and just stuck it inside the right upright in 8-play, 54-yard, 2-minute 9-second drive.
Well, I mean, the big thing you take away from this is they walked away with some points. In this type of game, when you get the ball, at least a field goal. Anything less is, I think, is a failure.
And to look at the ball as it perhaps inside. Woo!
Right up close. Very close.
Well, man, every time that Mexico City seems to do something, Vancouver has a response. Earlier in the game, Mexico City got that touchdown, but Vancouver responded with a field goal. Then Mexico City got their field goal on the previous drive, and here we are again with Vancouver answering with points. They're not letting the Aztecs get back in this thing.
Yeah, well, and the defense responded as well on that turnover. They were able to dig their heels in and limit it to a field goal when they were in perfect field position.
Jordan Sipe going to start out of the empty. Sipe so far tonight is 8 of 12. For 103 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. Sipe has to escape. Early pressure. That pass is incomplete. Looking for Terrasas in a crowd over the middle of the field.
Yeah, I don't think there was any wide receiver open on that play, and the pocket was starting to go away. So not a lot of options there for Jordan Sipe.
Second down and 10. Will they try to run it? It's a nickel box. Nope, they'll throw again. Sipe over the middle. Caught. Fumble! And picked up by Dumas.
Oh,
Jared Dumas.
Oh.
He may have saved the season right there.
I know.
Well, now we got a challenge.
Yeah, that's smart, I think. I mean, what do you think? I mean,
that would be an incomplete. It would be 3rd and 10 if that's ruled a. I'm not so sure, though, that wasn't a catch. Let me get another look at it. It's a tough one.
I do know that the ref was a shade.
Makes 2 of us.
No.
No shave November after all.
That's right. Oh, my God.
What are we thinking?
I can't believe so. I cannot believe this.
What?
After review, the play stands.
Play stands. That. What do you think of that call? We get another look at it here on our screens. I mean, he got 2 feet down.
Yeah, he got 2 foot. That's a good call.
Well, Vancouver's going to lose a timeout. Now they are up 10, so not the end of the world for the Legion, but overall, I mean, you got to challenge that, I think, to make it 3rd and 10. Now, Mexico City may have gotten a mini break there. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Sipe dropping a throw. Sipe will fire it short. Terrasas got free, and Terrasas will pick up 9.5. Got a first down, actually.
That's why you give him the ball. I mean, what is it, 3 yards deep, caught it, and was able to add, enough to get the first down. What he does after he catches the ball is phenomenal.
You don't see that a lot in the SFL, the little 3-yard crosser. Why is that, you think?
Maybe there's not enough, plays that have the right person in the right spot. I don't know.
Maybe it's greed.
Maybe
everybody
greed.
wants the 20-yard bomb. 1st and 10.
Yeah, it's not sexy.
5:20 to go in the 3rd. Mexico City will certainly take it. The handoff goes to Bentley running right, and Bentley gets to the 49-yard line, picking up 5.
Yeah, that was Jack Russell just went airborne on that one to try to stop that run.
Halfway through the 3rd quarter, Mexico City's
going fast.
Yeah,
just me.
It certainly is, and Mexico City still in this thing, but they have really struggled to gain any kind of momentum in the ball game. The handoff goes to Morrison. He gets skinny to avoid Marquise Reed, but Jack Russell will clean it up for a 3rd down.
There's Russell again. I think it was a high-low between Reed and Russell. They both hammered him when they tried to bring him down.
Mexico City's run game outpacing Vancouver's tonight, but it hasn't mattered on the scoreboard. This is a short throw that Henry cannot hold on to. Ron Hoff in coverage, and a critical pass breakup will stall the drive for the Aztecs.
Yeah, and critical penetration there on the blitz. Was able to didn't touch the quarterback, but hassled him enough where he was able to throw an inaccurate pass.
Another punt from Chaz Blackwater. That is inside the 10 and bouncing out of the back of the end zone. So unable to get Vancouver pinned inside the shadow of their own personal end zone.
I don't see any changes from Vancouver. I think they're still going to put their foot on the pedal and, do what they've done all season.
Can Mexico City find another turnover opportunity? Will Vancouver continue their dominance as Jalen Wells straight out of the backfield? Simple as that for 6 yards.
Yeah, well executed blocking as well. I mean, my gosh.
Wells up to 18 yards on 4 carries. 4 minutes to go in the 3rd. Lloyd has the most carries, 10 for 30. He's going to get that handoff there and picking up a first down. But Vancouver's putting that running back in the fullback spot, putting the fullback in the running back spot, and it's working. It's working right now.
They mix it around. They move players all over the place.
3:35 to go in the 3rd quarter. Christian Brown dropping a throw. Will fire. Off the hands of Killian. That ball sat up there forever. Qualzinho Leah and company in coverage, 2nd down.
Yeah, I think Brown's starting to cool off a little bit. His completion percentage is hovering around 54 so far, and he got that 1 interception, but I think the defense for Mexico City is starting to kind of cut off the lanes.
3:28 to go in the 3rd. Vancouver up 10. Can Mexico City managed to get Christian Brown a 3rd and long situation? They have not even sniffed the quarterback's jersey tonight. He has been clean. 2nd down for Brown, dropping a throw again. Quickly, the big K-12, and
I don't know if he should have spun.
That's right, I was about to say that. I don't know.
He was watching Dances with the Stars. The finale was, I think, a week ago.
That Irwin kid.
Yeah, Irwin kid, right?
I guess.
No, that's weird. I just want to see if you were watching it. So.
Listen, I saw. I wasn't watching it.
Right.
I'm very envious.
No, you got comfortable. You left your safety valves off. That Irwin kid, man, can he dance? He did the tango with amazing.
I don't. How would you describe that impression of that voice, Charles? What is?
Very happy.
This is Christian Brown dropping the throw. That pass is caught. BK12 to the 33-yard line, and Vancouver's drive continues.
Trying to set me
You
up.
almost took the bait.
I know. AJ had her fingers on the keyboard.
First down.
That was, I mean, Brown, he throws the ball, pretty strong, obviously, but there's some occasions where he just takes it up to cannon level. And that one right there, he got rid of it so quickly.
7 catches for $120. Brown is making extremely fast decisions, and Mexico City has no hope. All they can do is hope their defensive line can get off a block and they can cover down the field. That's what some of the best they've done on Jalen Wells tonight, picking up 2.
Well, one of the things that's kind of scary, I think, for Mexico City is Vancouver is showing the ability to run, and when they need to run out that time, they know they're going to be able to execute on the field.
2nd down and 8, 2:05 to go in the third quarter. Christian Brown lifts the leg, sends Ezekiel Bear in motion. Just inside, chance to win's field goal range. He's already made 2 tonight. Brown fires incomplete. Fowler with a big hit on JMS.
I mean, that was a Nolan Ryan pitch right over the plate. I mean, that thing was on fire. I would have had 4 of my fingers would have been flopping around on the turf trying to catch that one.
You think they would have blown clear off?
They would have, yes.
3rd down and 8.
I would have just had a flipper. Oh. Go back to Dags, sea creatures.
Dags, calm down. It's not about you.
He'd start calling me.
Brown back to pass. Look at the clean pocket. Inside. Incomplete. Had BK, but double team Brody and Jackson in the back of the end zone.
That was an example of Christian Brown, rolling the dice, throwing it in double coverage. Again, showing that cannon of an arm.
And now a 47-yarder for a chance to win to tie Cliff Allen for 10th all-time. This is to win. Got it again. A 9-play, 49-yard drive, 23-10 Vancouver.
If he breaks the record, are you going to scream special teams like Allen does?
Oh, that is.
We should both do it.
Absolutely. That is a requirement. In honor of him.
Yes. I mean, great. You got to walk away with points. We said that all night. And Vancouver has shown an ability to do it. Oh, what are they only punted like once or twice maybe tonight? And here they are up by 13.
Yeah, just 1 punt tonight for Vancouver compared to 4 for Mexico City. And those 3 scores, those 3 punts are the difference in the game, a touchdown and a pair of field goals. But Vancouver, or Mexico City rather, forcing those field goals has put them in a position to still be hanging in this game, even though Vancouver's almost doubled them in total yards.
A couple big plays, and we could be looking at a tie ball game here.
Sipe dropping a throw. He fires. That pass is caught.
How did he catch that?
Carrasas picks up 9.
Holy smokes. Yeah, the ball was on the other side of his body, but it did not look like he was going to be able to hold on to that. That was impressive.
He got bent backwards for sure. 2nd down and short. Sipe going to take it himself and pick up the 1st down. I was wondering if they were going to rely on Sipe at all in the ground game. You definitely don't want your quarterback getting hurt in a championship. We have not seen Brown escape except for 1 time today.
You know what's amazing, though? I mean, normally you see that play earlier in the game.
Right. I guess they haven't been in a lot of 2nd and
Yeah, that's
1.
true. That's true.
Well, Vancouver's been holding it down defensively, forcing them into a lot of 3rd downs. This is Sipe back to pass. He's pressured immediately, and that pass is incomplete. Looking for Terrasas. That's Russell again. It started with Reed, but it's been Jack Russell lately that's doing it all.
So far this second half, Russell's been all over the place. Great coverage as well as laying the smack down.
Russell is up to 12 tackles and 2 passes defended. 2nd down and 10 for Sipe off the incompletion. Fires over the middle of the field, and he just overthrew Henry. There's dangerous. Russell again on the coverage.
Yeah, and a dangerous pass by Sipe.
3rd down and 10. You get a look at Killian's numbers. Lloyd has the touchdown. Christian Brown, 15 to 28. That's kind of Brown's game. He's not the most efficient quarterback in terms of completion percentage, but he's a high-volume guy.
That's right.
Still 9.6 yards per attempt tonight. Big 3rd down here for Mexico City. Sipe.
He got it. It's caught by Terrasas. Oh my goodness, Achilles Papatonis sent Jordan Sipe to Greece, but not before he completed the pass.
Oh my gosh. That hurt. That had to hurt, though. 340 pounds laying on top of you.
That was the best play of the day. I mean, he got hammered. Great camera angle by our crew. And you got to look at that wobbler That turkey gobbler down the field.
Gerald is picking up Dags off the floor on that one.
First down and 10. The handoff goes to Bentley up the middle. That picks up 6 yards. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. My God, 2 plays tonight have potentially saved Mexico City's season. That recovered fumble and that catch. End of the third quarter, Vancouver up 23-10. But oh my goodness, the Aztecs are not going to go quietly into the good night as they go for the three-peat. You're watching the Season 25 SFL Championship right here on the Virtual Football Network alongside Justin Reside and Ron Haynes, Charles Doherty, and I am Cameron Irvine here with you tonight as we start the fourth quarter. And it's second down for the Aztecs at the Vancouver 48. They'll pitch it out to Bentley. Bentley breaks the tackle, and Bentley is going to be just shy of the sticks. Third down.
You know, the only bad thing about this game, besides the lack of catering, is that the game is going so fast, you know?
But, you know, I was thinking that maybe because it was going so fast, I wasn't going to get crap for that. But listen, I took you to get some fantastic news. I don't want to hear anything. Jordan Sight picks up the first down on the quarterback keeper on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, she's starting to show that run. And back to your point, Skippy and Curtis have been rubbing it in my face what they got when they came to visit.
What did they get?
They get a special cold cuts and crystal sparkling water.
You can't even say
I
it.
can't. They called it crystally. Skippy, you know, she uses her own words.
No gain on the play. Ray Bentley, a rare 0-yard pickup tonight. Will bring up 2nd and 10. 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, this is going to be. This could be a game of ages here if Mexico keeps playing like they've done.
Jordan Sight, can he finish off the drive? Keep Mexico City in this thing.
Look at that swarming defense. Holy smokes.
Excellent job up front, and Farnsey cleaned it up.
He held it, and man, the cavalry came in.
3rd down and 9. Another 3rd down for the Aztecs. They're 12 already in the ballgame.
Got to be Terras's time.
5 of 11 so far. Sight dropping a throw, dumps it off on a little screen. Nobody was on Bentley. First down, a gutsy play call. Haven't seen that all season from the Aztecs.
Well, they did that one play where he did that fly route that they were able to do, and when they pass it to Bentley, and maybe that's something we'll see a lot more next year, he's a beast out of the backfield receiving.
This is, if you're sitting at home wondering what makes a championship team, what do you have to do to make it to the championship game? It's those plan F's and G's and H's late in the season. You know it's in your bag, but you don't want to show it till the biggest game. They just did it right there.
And they're daring enough to show it. You know what I mean? They've got to find an answer, and they know that they can go to the likes of Bentley, and he's going to execute.
Morrison picking up 4, and a tough 4 yards at that as the Aztecs continue to try to stay balanced here.
Yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here out of the Mexico City offense so far on this drive.
23-10, 7:32 to go in the fourth quarter. It's critical that Mexico City gets something in the next few minutes as Bentley gets a first down into the red zone as the drive continues for the Aztecs.
Yeah, they've shown the ability to drive down the field, no doubt. Now they're at a point in the game where they need to do it quicker, and I don't know if I've seen that because they're really taking off a lot of time here on this drive.
1st and 10, under 7 minutes to go for the Aztecs. Handoff, Morrison getting to the 15-yard line and picking up 3 more.
2nd and 7. I mean, they've been showing the ability to run. I think, there's no, other than time, there's no other reason to go to the pass.
6:36 to go on the fourth quarter clock. This is Jason Bartley going in motion. Dropping to throw. Has to get rid of it quickly. One coverage, and Russell makes the play on the speedy Noe Terrazas. That's tough to do.
That's just a good read for the trajectory of the ball.
Wow.
I mean, because Terrazas had him by about 5 yards.
Just got to get that up.
Yep.
Got to get that up and over. 3rd down and 7. This is problematic territory for Mexico City right now because if they do not convert this, they're going to be kicking a field goal, and they're still going to be down 2 scores. That's not where they want to be. They got to get this first down to continue the drive here as Sipe drops to throw. Sipe will fire short over the middle, caught. First down, Terrasses gets some revenge for getting his touchdown nabbed away from Jack Russell. The drive continues.
Yeah, and look at the secondary for Vancouver and how much space they gave from the line of scrimmage. There wasn't any coverage, on the short side of the first down marker. They were all past the first down mark, playing deep coverage.
And we saw that little crosser earlier in the game. We've seen the flat route on the screen. They're taking advantage of Vancouver stepping back and leaving that short middle of the field open. First down and goal, under 6 to go. Toss out to Ray Bentley. Bentley drives into the end zone for the touchdown. Mexico City. It's a 7-point game.
Unbelievable. I mean, what a drive by Mexico City, and they are in this game, Cam. And now Vancouver, the last couple series, I mean, they've got to put something, they got to put 7 on the board, because the way Mexico City's playing, we could be looking at a tie ball game here soon.
And now Vancouver, this is interesting. This is, first off, they're now out of challenges because they've made this challenge.
What are they challenging?
And the spot of the ball, which is kind of wild. If they don't get this, they're down to 1 timeout.
Well, I thought he got in clearly. I mean, maybe I'm seeing something wrong here.
I think we're going to be looking for where the ball is at the knee.
No way. There's no way. His knee hitting the end zone.
Yeah, I don't see anything there.
After review, the player did not cross the plane.
They're overturning the call.
What? That is a head scratcher.
I don't know what's up with that. And Coach Hamilton, hey, kudos to whatever somebody. Maybe there's an angle from the blades of grass here at the stadium.
The blade cam.
The blade cam. Because I don't know how else Vancouver would have seen that. We'll see if it's a moot point or not. Second down and goal. Stops the clock with 5:51 to go. Vancouver is now out of challenges, but they do win the second. Going in motion. Big number 88 out there. The second tight end wide, handoff, and it's a touchdown. So Buford Van Dam gets in the end zone, and apparently he's going to join us in Denver for the convention next season. But that is a Mexico City touchdown, and part 2.
And it's a second touchdown for the playoffs for that big fullback. And wow, what a memory to be able to, put 7 on the board for your team when it's crucial like this.
4 touchdowns tonight, all on the ground.
I mean,
these teams.
That would have been a great bet.
Yeah, doing a little. What is that stupid thing that could pass the leg? That, man, I'm telling you what, these gambling people know no shame. 18-play, 80-yard drive.
That's unbelievable. This is a barn burner, and I can't wait to see what Vancouver does here, how they answer on offense. We haven't seen a lot of changes or adjustments on their side, and up to recently, they really haven't had to do it. But we've seen their success in the last couple drives. Walk away with field goals. We thought it was okay. Now they need to start looking at 7.
Vancouver's Christian Brown, 15 of 28 for 269. Killian, 7 for $121. Lloyd is your clubhouse leader on the ground, but we're not, although they could get to more of that. Jack Russell up to 15 tackles, your Vancouver leaders. This is Brown, short middle. That's incomplete. That's going to stop the clock. BK12 was the intended target. And I think if you're Vancouver, the last thing you want is the clock stopping right now.
You don't want to give time, especially... Yeah, especially in this situation here. And Max Jackson, I think, was the one that had great coverage there on that star wide receiver.
Second down and 10, empty again. Vancouver sticking with who they are. As Brown tries to avoid 50% completion at 15 of 30. Brown's pass is caught. That's a first down for Brett Killian. Feast or famine for BK12 tonight.
Definitely. And, I just wouldn't hurry to get up to behind the center. Let the clock tick a little bit, even though you're passing it a lot. You got to take some clock off when you get the ball back to Mexico City.
And if you're the Aztecs, man, you are this close. You just need 1 stop. 8 catches for 135 for Killian. Sipe only has 172 passing yards on the other side. Just 1 stop for the Aztecs can give them a chance to win.
Gosh.
But Jeffrey Daggs gets annihilated by Jalen Wells for the first down.
That's the second time he's dropped the lumber on the defender. I think it was Daggs both times.
Welcome to basic
Unbelievable.
training.
Holy
Oh, no,
smokes.
it was John Fowler. I apologize. That's even more impressive.
Oh, yeah. Inside linebacker. Holy smokes.
5 carries for 29 yards. Apologies to the Dags family. I thought their poor kid. But
Yeah.
Fowler takes a brutal hit.
He was not smiling. Cam was not smiling. I was sitting right next to him, so there's no glee taken by that.
5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Brown raises the leg, now brings a receiver in motion. There's a lot of them out there right now. 5 of them as Brown drops the throw. That pass is caught.
Unbelievable catch.
Nick Lockett, what did you say, Charles, about him coming up
He
late?
sneaks in. He's sneaky. He's the cat burglar.
3 times Mexico City has scored tonight. Can Vancouver score for a 3rd straight time in those moments? Brown is up to 290. They're approaching field goal range. A field goal might just be enough with the amount of time that's left in this one. The handoff goes to Kevin Lloyd. First down, Vancouver.
Oh, I love it how they, like we mentioned this earlier, I love it how they mix up, players and positions in that backfield. And, no one could question it based on the results we see on the field.
The 34th first down tonight
Shotgun.
in this ball game. Back to the gun. 4:05
Could be a
to
run.
go.
Could be a run.
It is a run. The handoff. Fowler in the backfield can't make the tackle on Wells.
That's
Wells picks up 5.
That's not good. I mean, a defense like Mexico City does not typically let a run like that happen.
Down to 3:45 to go. Mexico City's chance at a three-peat is starting to fade as Vancouver tries to close it out. Winning a championship in any league is so tough. Handoff to Devin
Big
Lloyd.
run.
Got the first down.
Big run.
3:23 to go.
I said it earlier, Cam. They've shown the ability to do the power run. I mean, everyone talks about Vancouver being, Air Lopez, Air Andy. But man, when they need to run and take some time off the clock, they have the ability to do it.
The lowest scoring championship game since season 22. 23-17 right now as Brown's pass over the middle is incomplete.
Yeah.
2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, they have to watch it here. One thing they don't want to do is have a turnover. Keep running that ball and take some time off.
What a game, partner.
Unbelievable.
I am so jittery
I
right
know.
now just watching these two teams try to compete, try to win. We have no idea what we're about to see as Brown goes down the middle to Ezekiel Bear, first down to the 13-yard line.
That was probably one of the biggest catches for Bear this season. That was a huge first down for Vancouver. And we could be looking at a championship for Vancouver.
And this is the drive where champions are made. I mean, they are just bleeding the clock right now. 2:42 to go. Over 300 passing yards for Christian Brown. He is in the empty still.
Unbelievable.
Rolling the dice as Mexico City looks for something, anything right now to give him one last shot. John Michael Sudduth goes in motion. Riverboat Mark. Brown dropping a throw in zone. Oh! What a catch from Nick Lockett.
I told you, the cat burglar.
Locking it down.
Unbelievable. What a drive. They were challenged by Mexico City and answered big time.
Wow, look at Lockett here. Just runs an inside post. Oh, one-handed. One-handed against the Hall of Famer Max Jackson, and the game's not over because there's 2:17 left on the clock. But for the 3rd time tonight, Vancouver answers Mexico City's score. And I'm surprised they're not going for 2 here, but with 2:17 left, they probably figure, let's just take the points.
Yeah, I mean, the way the defense has been playing. We got to see something from Mexico City we haven't seen a lot of tonight, and that's being able to move the ball down the field quickly. I mean, they've got 2 minutes. They got to put up 2 scores, and haven't seen a lot of that earlier in the game.
Thank you for the compliments, JW. And I tell you what, I think we're starting to hit our stride. Of course, you can never get everything you want out of life, but this has been a phenomenal game to watch. And just to see the evolution of the SFL from our first season, season 21, all the way to season 25 in this era, and what we're looking like right now is pretty special. As Jordan Sipe drops the throw, that pass is incomplete. Now it's 2nd down.
Yeah, every play counts here on this drive. You know, the only good news from that was that didn't take a lot of time off the clock.
2:12 is all that's left in Mexico City's opportunity to win 3 straight titles. They have 3 championships to their name. Jordan Sipe dropping a throw, and it's deflected again. Mark Lopez with the knockaway. So now a 3rd down and 10, and this is problematic for the Aztecs, their 14th 3rd down tonight.
Yeah, and the defense for Vancouver's been mixing it up a lot. Let's see if they go aggressive here or just kind of settle back deep and try and give them some room to get at least a short pass with some yard after catch.
For the analytics, they got to get some positive yards here. Jordan Sipe's pass is incomplete. That is a little bit of a problem because maybe Gage is trying to tell me the scoreboard is wrong, and he's wrong. I don't even know why I'm listening. Anyway, get out of the game channel. 30-17, 13-point game. You know, usually people are right, but come on. 4th down and 10. Jordan Sipe's going to stay out there. This is it for the Aztecs. 2:05 to go. They do have all 3 timeouts, however. Sipe going to drop back to pass. Fires down the field. Way overshot his intended receiver, Dumas. And they go 4 and out with no yards on that drive to potentially keep the game alive.
Well, I mean, the one thing we're going to see from Vancouver is they don't take their foot off the pedal. So, you know,
Wow,
even
that
if
was pretty tight coverage. Did you see any PI on that?
it was borderline, but they've been letting them play tonight. I don't think we had one PI call.
What do we think here?
No, not in a championship game.
Yep, I think you're right. 2:02 left. A field goal, I'm just thinking out loud, a field goal keeps it a 2-score game. And that would keep Mexico City theoretically in this thing. But that's about all.
That would be the game of ages.
That's about all they got left right now, as that run will take us to the 2-minute warning. Devin Lloyd on the carry. I don't want to start singing their praises just yet. We'll see what happens on the other side of the 2-minute warning. This is the SFL Season 25 Championship game on the Virtual Football Network. So many players. Brett Killian's been on this team for 17 seasons. Mark Lopez, 15 seasons. 10 for Drew Hamilton, 10 for Josh Farnsey, Judas Sessi, Papatonis as the Devin Lloyd nearly got the first down. It's 3rd down and inches, but I mean, you just look up and down these teams. Charles, 10 seasons is 5 years. I mean, it's been a long time coming.
Yep.
A long time coming. Mexico City down to 2 timeouts. It's 3rd down and inches. This could be the play. Watch the fullback handoff.
Yep.
It's
send Sudduth in motion. That takes about 20 seconds. Sorry.
Handoff. Got it. First down.
Nice.
And Devin Lloyd rolling down to the 2. 1 timeout left for Mexico City, but Vancouver might end up punching this one in anyway.
Yeah, the way they're running. I mean, they weren't getting the yards this way early in the game when they did run it, except for near the goal line. But man, they found something, an extra strength or something on these short yardage runs in the second half.
16 carries for 65 yards for the once wide receiver star, and that is a touchdown for the once wide receiver star, Devin Lloyd, and Canada can start to rejoice because they are running away with this thing. The Legion up big now.
And what a game we've seen from Vancouver, and what a coaching job for Andy and Mark. I mean, oh my gosh, they've got to be pleased with what they're seeing in the field. I know their fans are, and I know the SFL's impressed.
Man, 36-17. Vancouver has, they've been dominant all season long. Their 3 losses were all close and all against really great teams. They were definitely the favorites coming into this game, but by only 3.5. They have shown what kind of dominance they can put together on the field tonight, and all the Aztecs can do is look across the way to the better team this evening.
Yeah, I mean, clearly. I mean, on pretty much all aspects of the game, Vancouver has been stellar tonight. And you just look at the scoreboard, up by 20 in a championship game against the likes of Mexico City. That is impressive.
what's even more impressive as we scroll through history, and Mexico City's getting it up to the 24-yard line here, but this 20-point margin of victory is something that is so rare and so unusual in the SFL that it, in fact, has never happened. This would be the largest margin of victory by any team in any championship ever in SFL history, which is so crazy to say. Mexico City would like to make sure that they take that away from Vancouver on this final drive, but that pass is also incomplete as Jordan Sipe has gone ice cold.
Yeah, well, and it looks like the secondary for Vancouver, they took it up a couple notches as well, because it looks like wherever the ball goes, there's 5 defenders.
And Chance to Win is making a great point in the chat as Jordan Sipe drops to throw. That is caught at the 45-yard line, and then Dumas able to get all the way up the field as they take their last time out. But Chance to Win in the chat says, your boy is probably the only person ever to win the UFL and SFL title in the same season. Go Rhinos and go Legion. That's your boy TJ Horn and AJ Horn.
That's right. Congratulations.
On Dakota. And I think you're right, Chance. That is definitely some history made. 2 championships in 1 year, my friend. You are an exceptional sim football player. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's great. That's rare when you win championships in 2 leagues.
What have you done it?
I'm a quarterback in the minor league.
Well, I didn't know we were associating.
Waiting for you to bail me out on that one.
I didn't know you were associating
no, it's
that.
okay. But it's not the big leagues. I know.
You're all right though. You did get some props for that.
Okay.
3rd down and 5.
I'm sorry. I'm
absolutely
so sore
does
over the
count.
catering.
3rd down and 5 as that pass is incomplete. Listen, when you've got what's your quarterback's name?
Doesn't matter.
I want you to pronounce it for me though.
Mikhail
Polish.
Pajak.
There you go. My wife's Polish. I like the whole vibe of that guy. Yeah.
I'm trying to work your way out of that.
Well, I'm trying to work my way out of a 20-point game in the 4th quarter,
right?
It's a game. Dumas goes in motion. It's 4th down and 5. 37-17 Vancouver just trying to ice this one away as Sipe drops the pass. It is jarred away by Ron Hoff. And yet another stop for Vancouver in the 4th quarter. And I just want to say, how about Andy Hamilton? After all these years,
that's unbelievable.
Owning this team, he has put together such a winning organization over and over and over again and over and over again. They got burned. Remember the season 9, the Chance to Win, or I'm sorry, the Cade Stevens. He was inbounds game where Mexico City went on to win the title. Last year, they were so close to beating Mexico City in the title. They have finally gotten over the hump. Look at the victory formation in a championship game.
It's amazing.
The Vancouver Legion are going to be they're going to make history here tonight. Let me get your thoughts.
Well, I mean, having been on the team in prior seasons, I see the amount of work that the front office does. Coaching, scouting. It's amazing what Andy's built, and he's brought in the right folks, and he lets them. He focuses on their strengths. They put a lot of time in and energy, and they don't leave a stone unturned. And it shows on the field.
This is the first time since season 14 that we will have a new SFL champion. For the first time, Vancouver is your SFL champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to discredit Mexico City in any way. I mean, they've obviously great team. They put a lot of work in as well. One team's got to win this, but I really love it when a new team wins the championship. I think it just kind of shows you how competitive the league is, and nothing against Vancouver, but I hope another team wins next season because I think it's only going to make the league better.
Crack open the champagne and go get yourself a turkey leg. Vancouver has won for the first time an SFL championship, 37-17. A $10 super chat from Jesse Fritz. I made sure all the Gatorade buckets are full. A $2 super chat from I believe Mark Lopez, best belated birthday gift ever. Actually, no, that's I believe DJ Woods, and then Mark Lopez with the super chat. of 20 smackaroonies Canadian. It is always an honor to share the field with Mexico City. A greater honor for winning against one of the all-time best rosters in the SFL. Thanks to my fellow owners and coaches, Andy and Brett. We did it, Vancouver. This is for all of you. What a season and what a game for the Vancouver.
What a game. What a season. I was going to reach for a turkey leg, but again, no catering. But other than that, what a season. It was great on this ride with you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be in the booth in person as well as virtually. I love to see the changes you do each season. And, when we get a great championship game like this, it just it reflects not only greatly on Vancouver and Mexico City, but also on you and the work you and your staff do.
I appreciate that, Charles. You ready to do it again next season?
Definitely.
All right.
If you'll have me and cater.
Absolutely. Well, let's slow down on the whole catering business.
Slow your roll, Charles.
Who do you think is the player of the game tonight? You got Jack Russell with 15 tackles, Marquise Reed 6 tackles for loss, Brett Killian at over 130 yards, Devin Lloyd a couple touchdowns. Who do you give it to?
I tell you what, I'm gonna give it to Devin Lloyd because it's a split. It's a split for me between Killian and Lloyd. But I think the edge goes to Lloyd because when he got those first down, I think it was crucial to keep the drive alive and to keep the ball out of Mexico City's hands.
$19.99 super chat from Andy Hamilton. We did it. Brett, Mark, you beautiful boys. As Vancouver gets the victory 37-17. That is the end of season 25, Charles, but we're ready to come back stronger at season 26. And listen, I know we lost some teams. I know that we're down at the top, but we're not down league-wide. This is just the beginning as we continue on into 2026 and we find our stride. I really do think this is our year here on the Virtual Football Network. And Charles, I can't wait to see what we have in store next season. I mean, I think Vancouver and Mexico City are going to be back and pretty strong, but who knows? There could be some new candidates that really rise to the fold.
Yeah, and I hope so. Again, I think that only makes the league better. I think you got some great coaches out there, but they have two shining examples of what to do right in Mexico City and Vancouver.
Your final score, Vancouver 37, Mexico City 17. For Justin Reside and Ron Haynes in the Stats Truck, I've been Cameron Irvine. He's Charles Doherty, Ashley Jackson, Mike O'Neill, Mike Daggs, Gerald Smith holding it down at SFL Studios from New York. And for all of us at the Virtual Football Network, we'll see you in January for the start of season 26. Good night, everybody.